day that they pass and say if I be no. So not even get waiting for it as them big. Now some of them people always want to let them be war. But thank God alone we all know the danger of war. We need hope, opportunity and transformation. I wanna hear you say, oh yes, it's not true. So long we know I know what again. We need hope, opportunity and transformation. Oh yes, it's not true. So long we know I know what again. Now you power, money and tank, where you get. No use them for faith, use them for mix alone. No use power for men down the rule of law. Respect democracy and bring peace to people that lie. African leaders, when they get power, some they sleep. They can only wake up, now they grave or in exile. Because they look democracy with my eye. African wake up, see my tongue out for democracy. With good democracy, better go calm, that's alone. We good democracy, everybody smile. So let we live for faith, we said, and good thing, we go better with all. We need hope, opportunity, and transformation. I wanna hear you say, oh yes, it's not true. So long we know I know what again. We need hope, opportunity, and transformation. Oh yes, it's not true. So long we know I know what again. Shall never end if I'm there. As they show them diamonds, they can bunch banana like an ant. After few time, guess what? Wonders took place. People lost their balance, all because of the matter. But who get for suffer, all because of the wickedness. Some man get for the finger and say they don't mistake. For have a correct time, no case, they fight on loss. Some youth man they shake naturally. They're not so involved in this political violence. Youth man they wanna steady and do something better for our future. Don't allow politicians to set you against your brother. This time, tell politicians say, you set one for better like in your beginning. So make it do something we go improve your life. Than for take name, cut lies. But you, they chase you brothers and sisters all because of politics. Let we come together, embrace one another, and say no to violence. So we go able to practice good democracy and bring Sierra Leone back on track. Yeah, tell me. Oh yes, it's not true. So long we know I know what again. We need hope, opportunity, and transformation. Oh yes, it's not true. So long we know I know what again. We need hope, opportunity, and transformation. Special thanks to go to you, Dr. Alusain Fofana, winner the proprietor for Hotel Moria, Cambia, who said I write this song. So come relax like White House inside Hotel Moria, the place to be.
Waiting up for do.
Never wanna chat you. You begin say, waiting up for say.
Waiting up for say.
What if power left it tomorrow? How you go day? We don't see, but more people don't regret today. They left today, then they pass and say if I be no. So not even get waiting for it as them big. Now some of them people always want to let them be war. Thank God alone we all know the danger of war. We need hope, opportunity and transformation. I wanna hear you say, oh yes,
it's not true. So long we know I know what again.
We need hope, opportunity and transformation.
Oh yes, it's not true. So long we know I know what again.
Now you power, money and tank, where you get. No use them for faith, use them for mix alone. No use power for men down the rule of law. Respect democracy and bring peace to people that lie. African leaders putting in power, some they sleep. They can only wake up, now they grave or in exile. Because they look democracy with my eye. African wake up, see me trying for democracy. We good democracy, better go calm, that's alone. We good democracy, everybody smile. So let we live for faith, we set a good thing, we go better with all. We need hope, opportunity, and transformation. I wanna hear you say,
Oh yes,
oh yes,
it's not true.
true.
So we don't want no war again.
We need hope, opportunity, and transformation.
Oh yes,
oh yes,
it's not true.
true.
So we don't want no war again.
Greetings, fellow Sierra Leoneans, viewers beyond the Sierra Leone community. Welcome to Salon for All and Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. On the community announcement, obituary announcement for the late Haja Kade Jallo, the mother of Mr. Mamadou Jallo, commonly known as Emo Black, Mr. Amidou Jallo, Mr. Abdul Razak Jallo, Mr. Amadou Ben Jallo, Mr. Muhammad Boy Jallo, Mr. Sulaiman Ben Jallo, Mr. Abdullahi Ben Jallo, Mr. Alhaji Sulu Jallo, Mr. Amidou Wuri Jallo Baba Gale. On behalf of the entire team, we extend our sincere condolences. Moving forward, I want to take this opportunity to, on behalf of the all peace-loving Sierra Leonean around the world, to say thank you for the juror and to the juror. As we all know, today we get a very, very good news where it be say if we look on a patriotic point of view, it good for our nation, because we know they in that position again or in that category where we go yari about treason, where somebody go lost in life. Having said that, even though not a bittersweet result so far for retired Major Palo, we understand say they acquit him of the treason case, but however, they may find out guilty on 2 counts so far for unlawful gun possession. The maximum penalty will be term of imprisonment up to 1 year or a fine of 5 million leon or both. With the hope and pray that it go get the list and this it go past this one. So, and once again, would it tell all peace loving Sierra Leone plenty thank you, where in a using a voice then on different platform them for now we speak how you call against treason. And we also they tell all the one that were involved by this case, including the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, because we believe say when it comes to African politics, we know say with judiciary, the executive body always gets influenced by them. Having said that, congratulations to the Republic of Sierra Leone, and we hope for even better result at the end of the day. Having said that, make a pause now. I give the opportunity to we wonderful panelists then today, where they come for now we analyze the then administration of Dr. Ernest by Koroma. We get representative from the Sierra Leone People's Party, when Mr. DJ Force, as he commonly known, and we get Mr. Jesmet Suma, an executive member of the NGC political party. We also get a member of the All People's Congress, when Mr. Jibril Bangura, and we will get one more individual where been served na the then administration where in serve Gogiwi. It will answer some questions them, or it will join the debate hopefully very soon. Having said that, make a pause. I get okay, speaking of that, I think it don't come in. Having said that, make a pause and make Mr. Jesmet Suma come in, and I want to tell him plenty thank you for his patience, because a man will respect time and they don't come in at the very first and they patiently waits we as the other one and come in. Thank you so much, Mr. Suma. Welcome, sir, and kindly introduce yourself. For the very few who don't know you, which I doubt, welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm glad for the part of the panel
Yes, sir.
for discussing issues we pertain to the country, particularly the last 10 to 11 years, we don't look to the economy to now.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I'll just want in a heads up, this fine gentleman, and I get for know a little bit more about him 1 or 2 days or so, but the flyer will come out for making I know a little bit. I don't want to say much. I want to take that day for kind of like really, really describe him from my own point of view. Thank you, Mr. Jesmed Suma. Welcome, sir. So, having said that, to make a call on Mr. DJ Force, the SLPP DJ. Come in and introduce yourself, sir. Welcome. I think so. You do on mute, sir. Check your device.
Mina DJ Force, I welcome everybody who is listening to this program. They come from the voice of the people, and they carry the voice of the people, and they can represent the people here. And Sierra Leoneans, when I welcome, alone are listening to me. Mina DJ Force, the SLPP DJ.
Welcome once again, DJ Force, the SLPP DJ. Make a call on Mr. Jibril Bangura, when a representative of the All People's Congress. Welcome, sir. Oh, check your device, sir. We need to hear you. Check your device. I think you're on mute. Sorry. Mr. Jibril, check your device. I think it's still there on mute, sir.
This for this battery.
Okay. If you look at the line, you get a red arrow. So you go press the arrow there, it go able for unmute you, so we go able for hear you, sir. You seem to for still to get some difficulty. Okay. Okay.
Get me?
Wonderful. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, family, this na Jibril Bangura. Una all know me. Me na the man with the fight for let every Sierra Leonean gets a fair share. Now the national cake. The previous government, they don't come. They make it clear everybody be part of it. And we may hope say the whole thing for continue. But it look like say you're not going to continue now that make we say well, we'll not get money for these people and back home. But we will defend and put them people there, let them run for the money because now we give them work. And now we don't work for and we get for question them. And once again, me, Jibril Bangura and Madam, I tell you thank you for bringing me in.
Welcome, sir. Thank you for your quick intro. Make a call on the former spokesman of the All People's Congress, Mr. Ajibu Tijanjalo. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Okay, sorry, sir. I think say your device get on mute. Yes, wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, family member. All good evening. Former government spokesman.
Okay,
Government
sorry. I can get so confused. Thank you for the correction. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I know saying a last minute invite. So I'm really sorry and thank you for still honoring the invitation, sir. So having said that, as in I know with any they can say, you know, I can always say when we go to school at the end of the day or the semester, we get waiting with a call a report card where basically a guidelines of how we do areas of improvement and waiting will be we expectation for the next semester, so on and so forth. Having said that, today we go back, we're talking about 10 years back or 11 years or 12 years back, meaning the first term and the second term of the then president, Dr. Ernest Koroma. The first side where I want to start is that we know say with any nation with basic commodity na a must me from my own point of view I believe say I can always reflect back to Abraham where gets the what is it called? Oh God, it will come back to basically where it suggests say we basically need we get for address and force before we go to we how you call them the highest expectation of life or whatever the case may be. But I will come back to it and give it a better explanation. Having said that, I want to start first from the basic commodity. When we look back 12 years back with the then president Dr. Ernest Koroma, waiting in our own perception or point of view as to how it delivered to the people of Sierra Leone. I want to start with Mr. Jesmet Suma on that from your own opinion, sir. We can do both simultaneously. The first, his first administration, I'm sorry, the first term as well as the second term. You can do both combined. Come back in, sir. I think your device is on mute, sir. Welcome back.
Well, thank you for having me once more. I don't see where we get any kind of discussion. Yeah, most people when they focus on the superficial issues them. And what I mean by that is person in a village, you know, one day see Kuta, one go in village. One day no more than say motocar can clear all the roads. You don't give dirty road. So bicycle will be the pass now and motorbike the pass. That village a day, if you tell and say that person they do well, they will jump and say, ah, motocar a bicycle no more be the pass. This trip now, motocar the pass or when him the pass. To that particular village a day, you know, an improvement. Well, the say we need to look at compared to what in that village a day they look at. We need to look at waiting at the money where the person is responsible for fix that road day. The amount of money we use for fix that road day. We be say if we use them correctly, so then a 4-5 lane for tar road now they get it. But that village are not still that aspect though. That road day bicycle be the pass, now na motocar the pass. Now in the look at doing an improvement now on it. And that's superficial way somebody look at the issue. We need to look at from the economic point of view. The Terry and Escobar been take over in 2007. The dollar exchange rate is around 3,000 loans, 3,300 loans per dollar. By the time he left office 11 years later, the price of dollar don't double, we almost go to triple to almost 8,000 loans, 7,600 to 8,000 loans per dollar. During that same period, the cost of living in the entire country is doubled through that period. And within that same period, we gross domestic product, that's the amount of wealth we Salon they produce every year. We rise from around $2 billion, $2.5 billion to almost $4.5 to $5 billion. So $5 billion. Now, within that period, billions and billions of dollars come into Salon economy. They say they spend over $760 million on energy infrastructure.
I apologize sorry sir. So I got advice that we all mute with device so that we will not go miss anything where anybody there on the floor, so that we will give equal respect. Yeah. I see so they get some background interruption. I apologize, Mr. Jesmet Suma. Come back in, sir.
During that same period, we see an improvement in electricity, which is commendable. In the rush for proof the point say them will bring energy come. Hafsa to Kabab in that moment today, we all know almost million lost within that 6 month period. Now, We all examine the electricity for once. $760 million within that 11 years period. And yet, immediately Ernest Koroma left office, because the infrastructure for the energy sector was not there, they rely on hiring a boat will come up from Turkey. And they pay the Turkish company millions of dollars a day for provide electricity. Because the infrastructure not ready, we get blackout immediately. And because the infrastructure not ready, the country still partly depend on that Turkish boat or some kind of a way for the way in MD. And yet when you look at the structure for the generation, production, and distribution of energy, if you invest in the right sectors of the economy, Salone as a country, small as we are, $1.5 to $2 billion will provide the entire energy, permanent one. And yet then spend almost half of that. We're not able to see the energy. Now look come to the roads. And as Koroma build plenty roads, with commendable. But because them cut corners na substandard roads then, million drive on many of the roads they need for go upline. Every day, people in the die. And then road they live. According to World Bank analysis, over 3,500 Cameroonians in the die on road accidents. You know why? Because now substandard roads them. So me not call them road, I call them death trap. Because now death trap, you get 2 lanes, 1 lane they come down, 1 lane they go up. Where you want overtake, you got to make sure say you risk or switch na somebody at the approaching lane. And if you mistake, other motorcar come from opposite, bam. Every day, people in that road day. Why? Because the inside you road for pass, they don't want to spend money, then corner so, then burn them. I see them burn and chain and so name. Now, so all that kind of road they now don't see across the country. Now, look into the Wilkinson Road, for example. The Wilkinson Road about almost 4 kilometers to 5 kilometers. Where the most any country can spend on a road like that one day is no more than $1 million per kilometer. And as Koroma the own budget, they say $19 million. We saw all that $14 million, $15 million go. It disappear. And now look at agriculture. They say they invest so much in agriculture. But the same way the previous government they depend on imported rice, whether I think we will just come outside war and then they try to put certain structures in together to understand that. But Ernest Koroma self inherit that same system there. And because of the rice cabal where they exist inside Salone, it discourage investment into the agriculture sector. Small as we are, they spend hundreds of millions of dollars within that 11 years. For just rice alone, we can call institutional feeding for the police, the military, the prisons, and other government agencies. Then they spend over $150 million every year on imported rice. With that money they're supposed to go to farmers. Because each and every structure, anything they do, they get to get deals inside it. People then get to hold their own share inside it. And then they expect the country to go before. Over and above that, I know of several instances where people in the attempt for bringing investors to Canada country, including my very self, I've been get contact from a potential investor from Holland who will invest into housing development into Sierra Leone. But they don't know how to generate revenue back. They contact me, I do a consulting job for them, prepare a document, we will show them how to generate the investment back. Then go and meet the Minister of Lands, the Minister of Housing. That thing did not go before. Why? Because they want deal ahead of even the process to begin. so many instances. I know Sierra Leoneans the way attempt for go invest because the kleptomaniac they will be the man the ministry the day. The Alibaba and 40 chiefs they will be the man the ministry the day. They want to make sure say either then get the young millions out of it or the country losses. In the end, the country losses. As I speak, I get 3 examples on for on site, but I don't want to take too much time on that one day. Now, let's come to the education. And the worst and most deplorable side of one day of all. Where they see Pekin and they take bench put on the head for go take exam. Pekin on the whole net, they study like no day. They grab back sometimes from Pekin or eat food self. Then for go take the exam, he say for take bench go to the exam place, he expect that Pekin for pass. Public libraries, you know they. School bus, you know they. We try and spend all that money there. Now the man will be the man in the ministry, not don't die so. Because they think when you die one, if that man in the say they die this year. Sometimes we don't do a better thing. Now that make way they do stuff when they give leadership in any shape or form. People think about the legacy where they left. Today, you know, they're not seeing anybody they proud of for pointing and saying Minkailu Jalo, now Minkailu Ba. Now, so team legacy left by the Minister of Education. Over and above, look at the human rights abuses. Kabbalah, then kill you to man them. Utloko, then kill minors them. People like we, including Ajibo area, so then conspire. They arrest me, they lock me up for 37 gruesome days na Pademba Road. Why? Just because I talk the truth for the interest of the people of Salone. Then go conspire, then go arrest me, lock me up. And then don't lock plenty people up now, so innocent people, and then lock them up in a jail. So if you ask what is the legacy that Ernest Koroma left in Sierra Leone over 11 years of leadership, I will time it by one word: looting the economy of Salone. Looting. And the word that one day. Now they describe Ernest Koroma in leadership. Now the entire 11 years we don't lose Salone.
Thank you, sir. Make a paraphrase to the very best of my ability. And I want to say plenty thank you to the other panelists them where they respect Mr. Jesmet Suma where he take the floor. And I hope say we go continue and maintain that maturity and respect for one another where everybody proceed for taking the floor. So thank you so much within a patient. If I can re-echo some of the things that way you say when it comes to dollar, it was zero in the sense that everything go go up during that administration.
No, not say zero. I say the dollar was between 3,000 loans, 3,300 loans to the dollar.
Okay.
By the time they left government, it don't go 7,600 to almost 8,000 to a dollar.
Right. Okay. So basically, I guess the way they talk, I'm meaning that there was no improvement. It was more of like inflation or not being valued anymore in the time where they exit. So I make us say there was, basically put it that way. And then you talk about gross domestic product. You say it go down, it go up. Sorry.
No. It go up.
It go up. Yes.
Now that's the one good thing nowadays.
Okay.
The gross domestic product, now the amount of goods and services, the wealth where the country they produce in a given year.
Okay.
And under normal economics, the more goods and services we country they produce, the more taxes revenue the government they get.
Okay.
And as Koroma, luckily for and for the country, this London mining process boom within that period, and other mining sectors and boom within that period. So tons of money come to the country. Salone in wealth will get within that 11 years. You don't ever get another history. At the history, no government not able to generate more money into the economy of Salone. Like Ernest Koroma, they get access to money in the economy of Salone within the 11 period.
Okay, so in that
so
area,
you wonder.
Okay,
you wonder what you do with all that money.
Okay, so you get positive for that area day, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Wonderful. So then you talk about energy. You say the energy was not sustained. They mean gets a Turkey company.
They improve energy.
Okay.
But the energy improvement was cosmetic, not only infrastructure. They not get grid lines, they not get poles them, the car will be small, where electricity poles them in the all side. Where energy generation systems them in every part of the country. Not that way they do.
Okay.
Then go hire a generator them. Then go hire a boat we can by the sea or just pump energy.
Okay.
And they pay millions of dollars
to
that Turkish mandate. That millions of dollars, why you not take time now within that period? It is plan now for building infrastructure in a young country.
Okay. Then you further say once they left office, I guess with the arrangement we then get with the Turkish and all basically sustain the energy. So that was okay. Then you also further You further mention Madam Afsatu Kaba about money issue.
Yes.
Okay. Then you also go and further talk about the road. You say it built a lot of roads them or improve in that area, but you consider as cosmetic road or what you call a death trap.
Standard.
Right, death trap.
Standard roads.
Okay.
Death traps.
Yes. Okay. And then in terms of investment, you said when it comes to meeting with the Minister of Lands and Housing, then basically discourage investors. And you give yourself as an example where you've been trying for bring investments there, but it not happened that way. I don't know who that joined this. I know being invite this individual. Would they take a quick break? I they see a foreign face.
Just drop the person. You got access to whatever. Just drop the person.
Yeah, I know I put the wrong person. Would they take a quick break? Would they come right back? And I thank you.
Waiting up for do. Never wanna chat you. You begin say, waiting up for say. What if power left it tomorrow? How you go be? We don't see, but more people don't regret today. They left today, then they pass and say if I be no. So not even get waiting for it as them big. Now some of them people always want to let them be war. But thank God Salon we all know the danger of war. We need hope, opportunity and transformation. I wanna hear you.
And I welcome back. As I've been the try for paraphrase Mr. Jesmet Suma in submission of the then administration. So we left now on in terms of investment, that was his own take. Say how he been try for bring investment na salon, but then discourage and the people that way want bring na salon in terms of investment. He talk about education from Ion point of view. It's saying that the worst. When it comes to education, he give examples, say the picking them, they put bench na their head for going to school and how then go able for learn. He talk about human rights abuse, he make reference of Kabbalah, and he make himself as an example of going through that phase where he been gets arrested, and he also make reference to one of the panelists when at the then spokesman where he say them is set her up for now he gets arrested. So I hope say I don't paraphrase to the very best of my ability as to what you be try for add to today's topic, sir. If there's any addition, please let me know before I bring the next panelist.
There's a lot more to add, but just for that is enough for now.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so all panelists again at the 10 are plenty. Thank you. We're in our patient, Mr. Suma. Now we continue for engaging that manner where nobody not go jump in as the other person they talk. So we'll get a healthy and successful dialogue today. I want to call on Mr. Ajibu Tijan Jallo. As you were one of the individual we work with the administration and you get a lot of concerns there. So where Mr. Jesmet Suma presents from your point of view or from waiting intake from the work we're in that administration day, and if you can kindly address them one by one in terms of basic commodity. He talk on various things them which I want to present one after the other, but Indo already make it easy for me. So I want to come inside and talk on that before I bring the other two gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Welcome. I think so. Your device stay on mute, sir. Mr. Tijan Jallo, can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, we'll go bring him back in. In the meantime, make a call on Mr. Jibril Bangura. If you're able for bring respond to Mr. Okay, you don't come back. Mr. Ajibu, can you hear me? Wonderful. I think your device there on mute. So basically what's happening, they say Mr. Jesmet Suma bring a series of concerns, them way from your point of view as to waiting in a do or in a young work where in a do during that administration day. So categorically, if you can kindly respond to that and give we backup evidence them as to your statements then, sir. Welcome once again. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome,
well,
sir.
Mr. Just mentioned somebody believe in development and somebody believe in helping people, a politician. So and the issue and the whole thing about politics itself, Now, for when you did it, you do the best you can. The person way out, they attempt for move you and for low income can do better than what you do. So Mr. Gisman certainly from outside, they look for do things by far better than what the APC do. But the issue with that often at times, when you're outside you look, it's quite different from where you actually do inside. Can't stay with me and can't live with me are two different things. But having said that, me from your perspective, I will tell you, say, the progress we former President Koroma and government make phenomenal. And INSEF support that. When he talk about the GDP, he said the GDP growth was huge. Well, the GDP really encompass everything. The GDP, like I tell you, in simple terms, an aggregation of the activities, the economic activities, and the products then we will make within the country from which way people will derive money. You put all that together, add down it to the balance of trade, where the import and exports, the difference between imports and exports, now they give you a GDP. If you look at that GDP this year, then you look at what will happen the next year. If hypothetically, say, with GDP this year and calculate and say, now 5%, then next year, the number where they use for calculate 5%, it'll be 500, then they become 1,000. Then, double that by 100%. So when they ask you that following year, which is like GDP, you say 100%. And then from that point, you do them again. Now, so you calculate GDP. All right? But what's important for we to understand here, GDP, the best way where economists them, which man them bring about for try for size and economy, for try to understand the wealth of an economy, because it aggregates.
Yes, would hear you, sir. Go ahead. Would hear you.
Spending, it aggregates the people they buy, they pay taxes, all the consumer goods that they aggregate.
I think Sabine gets called, so do touch again one more time, because it seems like your volume go low all of a sudden.
Okay.
If you can check on one more
Am I
time.
okay now?
Yeah, we hear you, but okay, go ahead. Just go ahead, sir.
Am I okay? Or?
It's still a little bit low, but we still hear you.
All right, so hold on, let me do something here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, am I good?
Yes.
All right, so GDP essentially will give you an idea of the economic strength of the country. But when Mr. Gisman Suma is submission, they tell you say the GDP growth was phenomenal. In fact, it don't say them in so many words, but every time to tell you say it was so good that it was considered one of the best GDP in the world. Well, GDP growth will be good if other things they work inside, or factors of production on the inside. Factors of production meaning labor, people that they work, meaning land, people that they sell and buy land, meaning production, people that they actually bring in foreign direct investment, that they can establish party them and agriculture self develop. So GDP, we actually look at the whole economy and try to look at putting the country they produce. And so if we tell you nowadays, not so many words, it don't talk for you already, don't take you now. And the Koroma government did quite well, because that's what it means. And then you look at that. In establishing a permanent governance, President Koroma and the APC they get a manifesto. A manifesto where President Koroma and the APC don't sit down and look the country. President Koroma has been a member of parliament. President Koroma has been somebody from the private sector. President Koroma don't do plenty things where give them the knack and give them the ability to understand what Sierra Leoneans they need and how to prioritize them. The time when President Koroma took over government, Sierra Leone party, President Kaba of Blessed Memory, he focused a lot of the attention to finish the war. And yes, indeed, he finished the war. But after he finished the war, he did something very good for the it came with an idea to build institutions. One such like the NRA. one such led the anti-corruption commission, and plenty other institutions there. We President Kabal of Blessing Mendy where we supposed to focus on their specific issue and they such that they will be dealt with appropriately and effectively. President Koroma'S, their institution in there, he enhanced them, he strengthened them, he continued with them. He not demolish them, he not walk away from them. No, he built upon them. Because government has got no continuity. Of course, like I say, get the manifesto where it indicates to the public what you want to. When he come into office, he take that manifesto, they look inside, they say, okay, this manifesto will be divided into two. We will start off with what he call the agenda for change in the first term. And the second term, we will transition into the agenda for prosperity. And under the agenda for change, they list down mathematical areas there. If you know Samusa, you know the Musa, they look at the priorities, what we need very quickly to bring Canada today, what they also attract other essentials, development essentials. The four areas they were energy, agriculture.
I seem like you better get another interruption. Okay. Come back in. Wonderful. What are you now?
Okay. There four thematical areas that they were on the agenda for change were at energy, because the Koroma'S believes we need for bringing energy Canada as quick as possible. As a matter of fact, maintain the concept around the darkest city in the whole wide world. Kabataika was the order of the day. Post the born every day, people will put machines like us, fear the go program. There were all kinds of disasters will be happening. But quite apart from that one day, no investments no will happen if you don't get energy. No foreign direct investment no will come if you don't get energy. It will cost extensively for a businessman come to produce energy and also do business. So it was difficult. So that was priority number one, energy in the fourth thematical area. The second one, the agriculture. We need for being self-sufficient in terms of food when it was in Koroma'S food security. From there, human development will include education and developing people such that they will make meaningful contribution to society. And finally, transportation. Being able to move from one end of the country to another. Being able to get your products from the farm and come to the market. So then thematical area was essential. And President Koroma'S spent in first 5 years to develop and strengthen them particular area. And if you move and look at the empirical evidences at the country, it shows significant progress was made. For Sierra Leone being the darkest city in the country, in the world, within 100 days we get light. And progressively we continue to bring more light. And even though somebody will tell you, say, well, they spend an enormous amount of money for bringing the lights they come, yes, but the investment way at that, it quadrupled that in that money where they spend. Sometimes they better make you spend money or make you get something that you don't spend nothing and you see that you don't do nothing. Okay, when we talk about installed capacity, energy, number one, the amount of energy within the country be very small, it's just sufficient for light, maybe small section of the fields. But by President Koroma'S, at the end of the first term, all of it on we don't light, we indication of the energy will come. But the energy we talk about now, which is called the installed capacity, meaning the amount of energy that was being used. That one they drew 150%. Almost every day. Because the diplomatic of the government. All right. Agriculture, we export now a zero. We export moved from 2007 to 2008 to $25 million. By 2012, 2010, it was $15 million. Okay, so that evidence is the day for say something is happening. We're not the only to produce agriculture for subsistence, but there was that cash crop where they actually handling foreign exchange. So there was some dividend we come up from that. Okay? In terms of the human development, well, now they get reduced education. I really, Mr. Gismet Suma talk about, say, nothing happening in education. I don't think so. That's not correct. When we come into office, the amount of ghost teacher that we get in that country today is unbelievable. You get more ghost teacher than the teacher that they actually teach. Okay? We're able to come on and try to clean up that system there. But you don't come in office for clean up the system. The question would be how you improve the educational system in the country. And certainly, if you look at the amount of university there, where President Koroma in government opened within the short time, while my clear indication will say yes, this government make significant improvement. Today we are able free education, but we already had free education. Anybody when they go like public university in Sierra Leone, gets 70% of the school fee paid. Whereas you college fee will be 7 million, you they only pay 2 million. As long as you go, you pay 2 million, they register you. That university, public university, send that voucher to the Ministry of Education, they forward them to finance, and send 5 million to the university. So we were providing 70% scholarship for every public university attending student in the Republic of Sierra Leone. If you are disabled, you physically impaired in any shape or form, you will go to university for free. If you are female, you engage in the sciences, engineering, chemistry, physics, biology, you pay zero under President Koroma in administration. Sabi almost people in those school were able to get an education during that time. So for say nothing has happened, it's not correct. You move to transportation. The numbers they might not get now today. I mean, you don't say, I left office, I'm not getting into that anymore. I mean, like private citizen, I live a private life, I don't come back to my other profession, and I don't forget about that. But really and truly, if I remember right, we construct 1,513 kilometers of roads that are considered. Resurface half of that. In 2007, you hardly move from one junction to the other without going into 10 potholes. Some of them potholes they say Emma Sinclair and say that baby great. Pothole be there all over the place. The one country was portable pothole, the city was portable pothole. Now salon now you sit down, you drive na side streets, one bump no meet you. Now salon now you sit down, you drive na beach, abadin go you pass state till you come around. Salon now they able for drive, now weekends road na 4-lane highway. Spur road na 4-lane highway. The road where they go to the peninsula, that will start and complete not only inside the bridges then they know. You dey left Bottom Mango in 18 minutes. 18 minutes. You dey down Nigeria. In a beautiful road, just like highway 495. You dey left return where it will take you 8 hours normally to get to Pudloko, which is only 75 miles. And Red Doti go get by you. You dey get to Pudloko now in 1.5 hours. You dey left return. You go to Balamuya, Pamla, Porekaria, tell you which Nakona Creek in 5 hours. You come back the same day. Talk about the road for Komo Kailao. For Komo Kailao, for come inside Kenema. It will take you 8 hours. You can do that now in 2 hours. What is the progress for all of that? It means now people are able to take them products, them farming products, bring all the way in a free zone to the market and able to sell them. Whereas first them, they only able to come halfway. They go there 4 days in a road. By the time they finally reach their destination, volatility don't set in. The perishable they don't spoil. They're able to get good price for them. What thing they happen? Then otherwise with the smuggler go the other way, unlike the year. But this not just for you a few things that what happen. The free healthcare where President Koroma rolled out in 2012. Free healthcare. children under 5, lactating mothers, and pregnant women. If you na bela woman, if you the so-called picking, if you na 5 year and under picking, you dey go hospital for free. Yes, great people like Rikishi, where you go to hospital, they hide the medicine because government don't get the ability for police all man, police all what boss in the do. People they want to be bad, then go be bad. But the policy was there to say you go to hospital as long as you fall under the criteria, they're free. And guess what? It's not just talking. The results were there, the evidences were there. Infant mortality rate, the death 1,000 deaths, it reduced by 90%, sorry, by 27% in the first year. We're happy. Infant mortality rate, the amount of people the way they die, okay, for every 1,000 baht, it reduced drastically. Okay, so all of them are in progress. Now we go back and finally, for this segment, now look at the macroeconomic. Well, before that, let's look at the other empirical evidences. Okay, the economic activity will happen in Sierra Leone. You see people they begin build and bills and businesses then begin kind of the country. Whereas lonely, na they would be stopped, na they building then be stopped. There was an explosion of building. People they don't build go mambo. Okay, that means say economic activity something happen at the country. People they trust and believe in the system for can put their money. That is why you have buildings from here that go mambo and for go Levuma Beach na the upline. It's not upline anymore. For go Sussex, not upline anymore. People live in Sussex and work in Freetown now because one day, and people don't build houses. You go up now, Leicester, there are houses all over the place. People don't build yonder. But people they build so, it means say some kind of incentive, something they will stimulate that kind of thing. Where they bring jobs, where they bring exchange of trade and whatnot and so on. Okay, and finally, the macroeconomic indicators. Mr. Sona talked with just one of the big one aliens really. But exchange rate, when you talk about, not only a progressive problem for an African country, especially where you depend on import and not the export. I mean, the exchange rate issue, that one they know the whole country responsible, so to speak, no more. But what thing happen in exchange rate? When a boat comes by your country, you can't break na you jetty. They pull low, they put it down. You dey pay that captain the dollars, money, international currency where we trade on. And they get not only us dollar, you get. Okay? And they go. Where it go, it don't go with your dollar. It don't reduce the amount of dollar we take inside the country for let people are able to buy products, for able to do business. And if dollars scarce in the country, then the price of the dollar, fiat, the price of the dollar, it will go up. Waiting an ideal situation, and when that boat come, you pull where you put along, you deal on the dollar, then you now put more load on top of the boat again, you give back the dollar. Now the balance of trade down, and then you go. Well, no government no one gets a better balance of trade, or we don't show progress, we don't register progress in imports and exports, which President Koroma in government. If the government really show, then we export that. These are all examples. You talk about inflation rate. Yes, inflation rate telling me bad in Africa all around. But the way we see inflation rates don't become so worse. Inflation now the level of how money, too much money they chase too few goods. In other words, I buy a brigade this year, 1,000 for that small brigade. Now that small brigade in cost number 2,000. The rate at which where the money they chase, the money in power they diminish, the parity they diminish. Now we call inflation rate. And you see the speed where they take this period from 2019 to 2018 to now, and you compare it to what happened in 2007, 2018, then certainly you know for saying this government will do something right. Income per capita. When we take over government, income per capita now $240, meaning that the amount of money for the 1 year where a family able to make like a household now $240. It's pretty low. Really low. With the salary in this country really over $80,000. It just do for me we pay with mortgage, then we pay with motor insurance and whatnot and so on. You can imagine where people in Metro live with just $240 for a whole year. Okay, it's bad. But under President Koroma, the economic activity in where happened, for increase that income per capita to 800, which is still minuscule. But there was some progress from $240, okay, income per capita for a period of time for 1 year to $800. There was progress. You know, I mean, if I reach here now, I think to say, make a stop it for now. We'll talk further about domestic revenue mobilization with taxes, really. And tax now an indication of almost business that happen inside the country. The show for say we'll be able to attract a huge amount of businesses, manufacturing, and agricultural activity in the country. Okay, but for Ebola, when Ebola come, you see how the people that will be able to really work with you and one on one at the country. And you don't blame them. Both left for Canada, the country, playing left for Canada, the country comes to a complete standstill. Manufacturing contracts by 50%, agricultural activity contract by 30%. Okay, the GDP, where Mr. Gisman talk about, where they show the wealth of the country, the strength of it. And again, while they talk about GDP, and I'm not to focus on the value of the GDP, I'm not to focus on the change. Now you're going to appreciate what's in the government do. Not only value, because you look at the value, really small. Now the change from 1 year to another, 1 year to another. You see that change there, you see as a phenomenon. When they do the right thing. You know, so if I reach and I can stop Lagos.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajibuti Janjalo. Make a paraphrase some of the things then where you submit to we. In terms of education, Mr. Jesmed Suma say your administration be one of the poor. You come back again and give clarity to the audience, wherein you say when in a come, in a take power, in a being experience, what in they consider ghost teachers them, meaning teachers that we've been there in the payroll, but yet they're not being, they exist. Then in a one, you also give evidence, or should I say authentic proof of students them where they go, then they go pay 2 million leons. In return, the government they pay 5 million. 70% of the tuition was the responsibility of the then government. You also talk about the disabled them, where anybody with disabled them and they receive free tuition. And you talk about female where they in science, engineer, chemistry, biology, then they pay zero in terms of their school fee. You talk about transportation as well. Then you talk about lights, where you mentioned the Kaba Tiger, where cause a lot of things them where now be misfortune. And then you also refer to the city, then people then they refer to Sierra Leone as the darkest city in the world. So in terms of when in a coming in a improve, and you make reference of 1,513 kilometer. If I'm not mistaken, any side where I'm wrong, please try for correct me. So you talk about that improvements in terms of the whole, and you also make reference to the pothole them, where you even make reference to with one of your musician where in Emerson, where you also be make reference to that. So in administration, you say and I make all that changes the improvement in terms of the pothole them where they cause of course problem. You also talk about four-way highway, sorry, and where you give example of person where they come on now from Bottom Mango to Jue, where they take them 18 minutes. Back then, it will take them much longer. You also give other series of example them in terms of time reduction from then and now based on the improvement of the road. You talk about the agriculture, you say and I'll be able to produce about $50 million in terms of export and exchange. You talk about healthcare system. You say the then president make them available in 2012, 5 years and younger, then they receive free healthcare. You also talk about the improvement in infant mortality rate, where we reduce drastically. You talk about human development. You say it attract investors and micro economy investors. exchange rates. You say, you give the example, say if boats then they come, then basically Sierra Leone get for pay them in terms of international foreign currency in dollars. As a result, obviously, go affect the with money or whatever the case may be. You can come back again and expand on that if I don't go too much in detail. You also talk about the income capital, where you say then family then they only survive on $240 for the year. But when the then presidents come in, he improved that to $800 a year. Then you also make reference of the unfortunate of the Ebola, where it basically it affects the economy, wherein people that run away in terms of investors. Then you say plane not be the car again, boats not be the calm, and then of course I guess the GDP drop. If there's anything else where I miss, kindly let me know before I bring back the other panelists. And I hope say I don't paraphrase you to the very best of my ability. Come back in, Mr. Tijan Jallow, before I bring the next panelist. I think your device still there on mute, sir. Check the red line. Then nice, let me know if you need for add to that or if I make any error before I bring the next panelist. Okay, so Mr. Tijan Jallow in phone in device look like it freeze. So I want to bring Mr. DJ Force, the SLPP DJ. Come in, sir. And then you give your own take or your own observation or your own perception of the then government and who's how you feel say they improve or they not improve. Come in, sir, before I bring Mr. Jibril. Mr. DJ Force, you there with me, sir? Mr. DJ Force. Okay, I think say the talking at the background. Okay, Mr. Tijan Jallow.
I tell now all thank you.
One second,
DJ Force.
Yeah, Mr. DJ, sorry, sir. Mr. Tijan Jallow, and see I don't paraphrase right him. I don't say anything where
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you
Okay.
right. I think you understand that. And when I say income per capita,
Yeah.
I mean the ability, the amount of money the whole able for cooking inside in a
Right.
given period.
Okay.
Which in the day to
Yes,
yes,
for the year, you say, right?
Extent, yes, you do.
Maybe they refer to $240, right?
But
But then they be able
$240 in 2007,
and
but
then
by 2010,
Yes.
it has increased to $800.
Okay, thank you, sir. Welcome. Wonderful. So, Mr. DJ Force, thank you for your patient coming, sir. I mute everybody else, please. Then
I wish
when
you know,
time. Yeah, sorry, sir. No, I interrupt you. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I wish the participants, the speakers, and the listeners, everybody, thank you. One of the things that we get for stand up as a Sierra Leoneans is to start to discipline ourselves. People not for they deviate themselves from the responsibility. If you don't hold public offices and you don't think say you don't do the people wrong, stand up and commit wrong. But today, if we people they talk about things them on paper, but physically it's not on the ground, wherein we born as Sierra Leone, and we need for retrain we say for now we make we country grow. For now come in for address the former president in work. I tell you the Sierra Leoneans they thank you when we able to vote for him, we be feel say there are a lot of things that we pack about they put in place where they come, they divert their attention from it and they try to enrich themselves. Now that make today people are talking about agricultural sectors, transportations, educations. And it's easy to say about these things, but the implementations is not there. Abdul Tijan Jallow, he talk about education, but for me, these are the people we go help for put Ernest Koroma'S in administration done, and for make sure say Sierra Leone no move forward because everything we measure now talking about energy, agriculture, transportations, NRA. In them institutions there, yeah, I believe say they not be able to fund that very well. And one of the area where really President Koroma'S in government failed is they not be able to put in national policy advisory committee in a workplace. So this be able to make sure say many things the way they come in as a foundations, they will be able to work towards their agenda. So that's means when the government don't canal, they find it difficult to move the country forward, because once there is a government way puts things in place, when we change government, we go feel say the country the lively. We not go begin cry again about hardship. We not go begin cry again about food, and we not go begin talk about roads. So now continue to no more for don't go. But look at people talking about energy here, where the total law say Sierra Leone is bigger than the capital city of Freetown, where na generators and no more than people have to go car with capital across the four corners of Sierra Leone. They say they have provide sustainable electricity or sustainable energy. So for me, the last speaker as we don't talk with me, they come in. These are the people we go for help and government administration for breaking down. Okay, let us go back. Mr. Suma talk about road constructions. You know, I just read a foreign paragraph for let we people that know say we are responsible for the downfall of Sierra Leone, whether be APC, but the citizens in that country where APC they can't give them employment, where they fail for provide quality service for the people in the Republic of Sierra Leone. Pakaba today, you know, they are alive, but the Almighty God and the SLPP go protect them for lay a foundation for this nation, because we believe say not to one party they build a country. That's why I want to inform every listeners, every citizen, every participant that I say not to one party they build one country. Let us start taking our responsibility serious. If not, we're going to blame ourselves tomorrow. Now, roads constructions, which APC is trying to be really saying that they have constructed roads. But remember, if APC rules Sierra Leone, when I was not born, when I was not even alive, for 27 years, they did not recognize roads. Now, when the SLPP came in power in 1996, they said they went out, cater to people to help Sierra Leone, and they feel Sierra Leone can drive on a very good road. Then what happened? Pakaba came in with that project. They said the foreign road has been either being constructed or are under construction. Koribondo, Blama, Jendema Ferry Road. In the south, Makeni, Kamakuye Road. In the north, Korabara, Kabala, Axis. And the Makeni, yes, and the Makeni roads. Also, in the north, work is in progress. You know, gentlemen, let us pay attention. They say work is in progress. And when these people came to power in 2007, what happened? They just tried to be fully Sierra Leoneans and fooling themselves. They feel they can use Sierra Leoneans to enrich themselves, to come to America, develop America, and where they call their stronghold in England. So they abandoned this project. They abandoned this road construction. Let us say if these people, according to the project where Pakaba and the SNPP will bring in 1996, where they acquired their funding, they'll be able to construct roads. Then today, there was not going to be full scarcity in the capital city of Freetown, because people can now be able to get access to the interior and bring food in the capital city. When at this Mabuwi agenda in 1996 to hit 2007, then we can't hand over the funding. They just go there, lie for the people, take all the money, bring it to overseas, save it there, pay mortgages, buy mighty houses in America. Then they say they are the best political party. So for me, shame on them. Now, I continue. They say funding has been secure for several planned roads projects, such as Bo Kenema Road, Kenema Kwendu Road, Makeni Matotoka, and Maboroka Kwendu Road. You see, Rogbere Junction, Pamalap Road, Sungo, Moyamba. You see, this road, the way that people are, they say they don't construct all road. So I don't really know why they are capitalizing their project and their government on this road construction. Now we move forward. Pakaba also tell and say we have found for the construction of 1,150 kilometers of feeder roads. You say throughout the provinces as an integral partner of our full security programs. They don't even understand what is feeder roads. Because if you go, let me call their stronghold in McKinney. If you go there, how many streets are quota in McKinney? It's not even read 3. It's not even read 3. So these are the things the way they want for CAC FISE. No other person on for go Sierra Leone, their political party is God. No way. These are people who believe in corruptions and embezzle our economy, bringing it to America, developing America, buying houses in America. Now I made the last speaker where Sido say, President Koroma'S do agriculture. These are the people who migrated from America and go help and disturb President Koroma'S in administration. So for me, I don't feel no value of APC. Now, the last speaker speak of SLPP finishing the war and be institutional NASIT or NRA. When will I meet NASIT, which is NRA? When they meet them, what did they do? They say they expand in this project for let it go be successful. No! They put more corruption in these areas. That is why you find out say there was no treasury single account in the Republic of Sierra Leone to be able to handle our affairs for ourselves. Because this NASIT, where this last speaker they talk about, this is an institution where the SLPP thinks say therefore creator for able to run our affairs of a state. But when they came, they put corruption in it. That is why they were going around borrowing money from around the world. And even IMF denied them for giving them access to loan because they were just taking money not to use it on the people, using it on themselves. So for me, I condemn the entire 11-year government in Sierra Leone. Because if today Kaba talks, they say let Sierra Leone not be a nanny state. Let Sierra Leone able to provide agriculture. Many of the tractors the way Takaba bring Canada country just after where APC take over, they run away with the ego seller na Guinea. And talking about agriculture. Why are we crying for food today? If our agriculture industry were very strong in Sierra Leone, then why are we crying with hunger today? You know, let us stop the lie and let us try to build our society. Let us discipline ourselves as Sierra Leoneans. That's why when they talk so, maybe tomorrow they're going to be ministers in that country. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to be ministers in that country. But if they don't try to follow and discipline themselves, and they still want to be bury themselves into corruption, standing up for a misguided government who don't pull a power, and they want to come and make themselves good around the world in the eyes of Sierra Leone. Don't you think Sierra Leone they know the mistakes where APC make? Now they pull in a power. They not just pull APC in a power because if you say they hate them. No, now because the misappropriate public fund, public money. Things the way government, it don't come, it don't pass, it don't put her in place for we. Where then can the total fit say, no, nobody should enjoy this facility. So they take them out from the people. You see, I want to say, look up, they fail again for even provide a development database for our mineral resources. You see, what kind? We are located, what quantities and their quality. If this is completed, the country will be in a strong position to negotiate the best term for their exploitation. First of all, they talk about industry. Industrial transparency, it will be the inside APC administration. They fail to provide industrial transparency across the country. And I tell you now, APC got the kind of power for a rule free zone, but not to rule the whole country. The thing say freedom is the only way you can think when you can be in the status that is finished. Because when they can just secure status and secure their convoy and forget about the people in the interior, in the villages, and they think their government is superior or super. No. So one of the things, the industrial transparency initiative, they fail on it here. Where that for not even help we install a lot of transparency in our revenue drives, in our revenue collectors. They tend for do that here. We get for tell the people I say we are not ready to accept corrupt system in Sierra Leone again. So far so good. I'm not going to hold the platform too long. And let me make it very short because some of us we are very busy here. We get for come on, we get for go to do our monitor dinner, we get for come on and go do all our things there. So let me make it short.
Thank you
One
very
of the
much.
things that normally I want to hit on again. One of the things about where I want for hit on, let's see, Alina, they know, the affordable institutions, the way the SNPP don't bring Canada country, they when I don't tell President Bill, thank you, make able really put discipline and make sure say every public workers in that country able take a responsibility serious and be a foundations as President Bill can say, he has come to put foundations and any government will come after, it go follow that. Our problem is just to make sure we implement discipline in the public sectors. Once we do so, then Sierra Leone will take over other West African countries and other nations. So far, so good. I will stop here so far.
Thank you, Mr. DJ Foss, the SLPP DJ. I want once again tell the entire panelists and way they restrain themselves and discipline themselves, wherein they not come and interject or whatnot, because everybody they get them fair share. So if I can paraphrase some of your concern from your point of view, the then administration not basically do anything, then basically come for secure them pockets, then secure the state house and the city when a Freetown, and they're not being care about the provinces. You also say that they embezzle money where they transfer now outside of Sierra Leone. You talk about United States and United Kingdom where they send them money then they. You also say they not bring any no treasure single account. You condemn the entire government in the then government, and you also make reference to President Kaba. You say basically we don't set the pace, but the then government of Ernest Koroma'S not live up. You say they misappropriate public funding. You make several comments of that and emphasis on that, and you say they not provide any database. You also say you refer to the road as Kolta Road, and people that will believe in corruption. You make emphasis again as they enrich themselves. You say them that administration they not build the nation at all from your point of view. And you also make emphasis say the citizens them now their responsibility for a better mama salon because now they bring the downfall of the country. You also say there was no national advisory committee in place for the then administration. And I don't know if I miss anything else, and I hope I don't paraphrase to the very best of my ability. If there's anything I miss, please come in, sir, and come and add to that before I bring the next panelist, sir. Check your device. It seems like the volume is low, sir.
You've said everything, and I just try for renew back say the funding was secure for the road constructions and the 1,150 feeder roads across the country. They're not able to do none. And I said, even in McKinney, where they call their stronghold, only 3 roads. Now you get Kotade. So where are all other provinces? Are they not part of Sierra Leone? Yeah. But the rest, you really capture what I said.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So again, the last person chance, then also Mr. Geffo followed by some challenging questions. Then when I will come back in and we debate on Mr. Jibril Bangura, thank you so much for your patience. You happen to be the last but not the least, and I thank you for your patience. Come in and give your own point of view or your own perception of the then administration. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Khadija.
Welcome, sir.
Lord God bless we all. Amen. We all want the best for Sierra Leone. But the problem when we get in Sierra Leone, tribal that tribal-based sentiment, that greed, that badat, that jealous. We all in America, yeah. We see Americans that they disagree on personal issues, but we it come on national issues. We in the term, they say everybody come together, then they put their differences together. You see, governance, it just like a way you get picking up us. Where you do good things, then you get like a treat. Where you get this treat, it get more zeal for do more good. You know, we know. But where person they work for in country, they get people the way they come, then they castigate them, then they call and names them. It's very, very unfortunate. And that way they make the country move go before because everybody is scared. Oh, then they can't do me. Oh, then they can't castigate me. Let's take a clear example. What happened to Paulo Conte? Paulo Conte, for all what they don't do, for all the humiliation. This is not a man who don't serve in country. He served in country diligently. A pandemic can hit. He take all in ego. He put them aside. He say, no, wait till I go up. Where he go, where even within we on caucus, we not go and let it go there because we know say now so you get for go end up. But it just for go anyway. What did they do? Then go wear blind and aid. They wear blind and aid. Then go. President go na the Paremba road for go kill him because mother being says and I want go kill this man. Because if not your mother be go and go kill him, waiting a presidential guard go do na Paremba road.
So make we just say that's an alleged. Yeah, no, no go. Yeah, go ahead. Come back in.
Well, yeah. Because the presidential guard, they not get no rights to go na Paremba road if the president know the day. Because a presidential guard, they guard the president. So if they go fail na Paremba road, that means money will be up in daddy. You see all this stuff there. I read DJ Force they talk about Feeder Road and Kota Road. I doubt if you know waiting at the difference between a Feeder Road and a Kota Road. I want to let him work out that difference is there because a Kota is different from a Feeder Road. Feeder Road na gravel road. A Kota Road na like a road that we get na. And if I take again, become with when from with Ajibu Jalo, most of the stuff the way I want talk about, but the other thing we you know address well now the electricity sector. In triangle, you know, end that. Mr. Suma, they criticize the Ernest administration, say they spend so much money on electricity, blah 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 blah. Now, if you don't watch what the FNPP they celebrate with right now that West African power pool, and that West African power pool. That one day na thing where President Koroma na in signature that one day. Na in legacy that one day where he don't left for we. If that party go take life today, that na thing where they not go ever erase an history. And na thing where he pay for nothing, no day for saying a balance don't left. He pay for him and pay for him a full. That West African power pool where we the share. We all know West Africa, we get one power line. Where na in a sustainable electricity And while them in a wait for this project for complete, now that make them go higher, that Turkish power, let them come first, let them go, they give people a power. Because which one the way people that them in a bill under an experiment intent, the way people investors them in a go na the country. A boku. So when mother be open. Last month alone, last month, June, the United States repatriate almost 500 of the citizens and legal immigrants there. Almost 500. And for where SLPP come, then they chase people all over the place. Instead of them, they chase for let them take people and get them go for let them go invest. They know they do it. Instead, then they chase people there. These are the people that when we hear them talk, say, the previous government, now a bunch of racketeers, now thieves, now this, they use all kinds of knowledge in the book against them people there. Set up a commission of inquiry. Who are they go take as the chief judge for that commission of inquiry? Now Fatima Bio in girlfriend, when I Bio belly. And I get evidence. Fatima na in program all that old thing they give the contract to the man, they get in on court, they buy house for him na Victoria Island na Nigeria. What kind of tip where Pastor one day? Because it is still from the state. As I talk to you. The thing where they pay me, where I they see Fatima in Pobo, that Pobo, if for them at school right now, they go school. Mohammed, for let Mohammed them take them, get to drug cartel them. Now in there are the boats. I get the picture right now. Now in there are the boats, that presidential boats. Now in them they use for traffic drugs. Now West Africa. We don't want to go that road anymore. We don't come on the Tijankaba don't come with that system on that Tijankaba. They demonize her because what them they want to do, they can wait them they do. So Tijankaba not been given a chance to let them do that one day. Demonize that part. Look this. You see the bobo? This is Fatima and bobo. This bobo is supposed to be in a university.
So we go refer to that all as alleged because we now get even though you get but if you don't make available to we
platform,
yes
I know I get a fact.
No, I understand. No, like if you don't make available to we, then we'll be able to share and with the rest of the audience. Yes.
So it's really sad. I see like Mr. Suma. I know he said nothing about SLPP. All they talk about is about APC. Mr. Suma, this is the man. Wait till we say.
Sorry for interrupt, sir. I think the reason being where the focus now for basically now we analyze the then administration. Hence the reason I assume say maybe I make bring that in. Yeah, come back in, sir.
Now both administration. That one they don't go. We get the current one. What would they go through a bunch of stuff?
I agree. But today we mainly they focus on whether or not the pros and the cons, who's not the weakness, who's not the strength. Yes. So now deviate from that. Yeah.
I got it.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you, APC, what the APC don't do under this Ernest by Koroma a regime. This DJ Force, now even they call that toll gate. They told them Tolongo Panbody toll gate. Now so they call them. They say a waste of money. See then now that toll gate they now they SLPP, then they go worship. Now then they go hustle. And they don't change the agreement where the former president or the former government they don't make with them people and they don't change it. So 50-50. And the 5% they go to SLPP party, that toll gate. And I mean, talk say where they kind of power. That's again the first thing where they destroy them. It is wrong. Look what they happen right now. The doctors then they strike tomorrow. Simply because what they supposed to give them, they don't give them, then go buy 30 luxurious vehicles, V8 vehicles. What would they call them now? SUV. APC, where APC been the fetch Ebola. Then focus on Ebola. People are not being they go work. People are they get paid. Teacher then they get paid. Doctor then they get paid. But what did they go on now? Nothing. Nothing. You come off Newton. You go Kono, a round trip and come back. First day, for come off Newton for go Kono, something like 1 week journey. Where you go say you can't do the motoka go by and say, una waka, then una go join the motoka. So APC, it don't do so much. And I heard DJ First talk say, APC don't rule Salon pass SFPP. But DJ First and not know the Easting. SFPP begin rule Salon even before we get to be independent, 1961. From there, you get the Albada meeting, the Tijan Kabas. So APC always na in a the party where they left legacy in that country. Because we don't believe in tribalism. We believe say you as a Sierra Leonean, you born at that country, you get to be anything where you want to be, and you get to participate. We know they run out of people. Now, a divided house, now a very weak house. And that make they succeed. Because when they bring everybody come together. When they bring everybody come together. Because now we are responsibility. And nobody can work, they use it up, they come for can enjoy. You know, can't join we all the work. And we succeed. So for compare SLPP and APC and development, APC we do really well and anytime we can have power, we don't gonna lock down as so we see one game possible Sierra Leone. And if you watch, wait till they do so. All government parastatals them, all them office, them top offices them, then they put people when are they people when are major people I swear to God, elect now Jesus Christ or the prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now in the time president na Salou, if he come, he say now we reverse this to what they do. Now then they show tribalism. Then they take the pieces and go dock in the water. When you go now for go pull these pieces, they say you don't dirty the water. Then when dock the dirty pieces, they follow the after they watch. As you touch and for pull up, they say you don't go dirty the water. And that's bad. A nation where they grow. The Germans, they don't run away from one saloon. They don't cut off all fundings. They even call the Fatima answer for our girls a fraud organization. The British, no. Sierra Leone, it don't damage. Madabio, here in cabal. With the help of tribalism, they don't kill the respect. They don't kill that spirit with Sierra Leoneanism. Then we don't get, say, okay, now we forget after the TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation, whatever it is. So let we all come together, let we develop the country, all that one day, they don't damage her. Everything don't spoil. Because the kind things that now where they boil in the country, Khadija, people and they, where they incarcerate, they even the people that they don't know their whereabouts. Then they come now you office, they arrest you, then go keep you. Then they kind of you off, you know they sleep, then kind of the much you open, they arrest you, then go keep you. That pardon by road saga. Then kill 138 prisoners and prison guards them. Now they die inside it. Special court now 50 plus. It's sad. It's very, very terrible. Just for power. And they see people and then they celebrate, say, oh, they don't, they're not find them guilty. And they look there, they bleed inside the mind. Me, when they talk to you, me uncle, they why they put stuff and they burn them. A government minister, we don't serve that country, they burn the Osinobi. Elijah Musa Kabia, they wait up and they burn them. They send a collaborator. Just because Robin White interviewer say, oh, where all man they run, why you not the common at the country? He tell Robin White say, he say, well, if all man, he say Robin, he say if all man common at this country, he say we are go be the person where the big person will go talk. Then go now in Ulster in New Englandville. Now they go pull inside, oh, they wet up on her, then burn her. Sheikh Mustaba, they did the same thing. Abu Black, they kill her. To wait me and small brother, where I call them, where I go come on, now they go root and come on, I say, can they fit up? Inside us, here in Paddy, where I go pull in a corner, where they all then at the same place and corner, the 1 million bobo, then left the bobo, then kill me and brother. We'll be not ready for forgive. We'll be not ready, we'll be not forgive. But they don't come back, they don't remind me. It's like a waiting them in do. It's sad. It's sad.
So how we go? Yeah. Now that I want to ask you in terms of forgiveness, but we'll get back to that. I don't want to deviate again.
You know, anytime easy anymore.
No, I think we can do better than that. You know.
No, once beaten twice shy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to do? I don't know if you don't land. So I will paraphrase now. Bring Mr. Suma quick.
I don't land it.
Okay. No problem. Go ahead. Yeah.
It's really sad. Where a country, everybody they run away from one of the country, then they run after everybody. Look what they do to the 10 members of parliament. Then go and work them out. Constituency 110. 30 days, they're not the representative in the parliament. Only petition them, where they take care go to court. They all don't die. Sudden death.
So it looked like we get an interesting topic on Friday where I want to join. So, but now I want to know you come back and focus on the then administration in terms of development, in terms of their weakness, whatever it is. Then Friday, from the direction where you go, you need for join the discussion on Friday. So I want you come back again and go forget your thoughts them in regards to the then administration.
The development become when I come with Jallo. It already talk everything. This time, and they just they tell people where they praise this particular regime and stuff. No, APC now one of the best. APC now Komra party. APC don't make sure they bring everybody come together. We don't want to look the bridge where you pass for go inside me on Losar, Magbele Bridge. Now in the lab, they say Ernest go make bridge na Kalan. Kalan is part of Sierra Leone. Kalan is part of Sierra Leone. And when you be a president, you know they only be a president for certain region or for certain tribe. And APC, they build bridges. We know they build walls them. When you build wall, you they isolate yourself. But when you build bridge, you they reach out, you they expand. And that President Koroma do. And we will continue for praise President Koroma. And we will continue for protect, for let in legacy what he left. And we will continue for faith, for let them not kill with democracy. We will continue for faith, human rights, for let it gets a hold. Even if right now it not get a hold na Sierra Leone, but we go maintain with caucus. We were there online. So I will stop yonder for now.
Yeah.
I want to tell you plenty thank you. Make a paraphrase what you say before I bring Mr. Jesmith Suma way himself go left with shortly, then we'll go continue. So Mr. Jibril Bangura, thank you, and thank you the panelists and waiting a patient. Mr. Jibril, they put you on mute for a second. I paraphrase real quick, yeah. You start first saying God bless we all and God bless Sierra Leone, and your concern is that you believe say bad hearts, greed and jealous now they affect we as a nation. You give an example of that of the United States of America where you say when it comes to national issue then they come together for make sure say they move the country forward. But then you also give an example of the current administration where you say then they castigate and then they encourage people them, and you give the example of that of Major Paulo Conte where you say it don't serve the country diligently to invest of ability, and at the end of the day usai land where basically in a safe bay way na in a comrade and I not be even agree with the decision for a join hands with the sitting presidents for this corona pandemic. You also make reference back to DJ Force, the SLPP DJ, in comments where you make comparison with Colta Road and versus Frijo Road, where you try for kind of like basically correct the different. You talk about electricity, the electricity sector with the then president. You talk about the West African power pool, where you say it been paid in full, where Mr. Ajibuti Janjalo no mention of that. You say that power pool day, basically now one way go connect all the basically I guess the West African region. They assume Liberia, Salon, Guinea, and I think Cote d'Ivoire, if I'm not mistaken, where basically go be a sustainable energy will be go help then region and they. But then at the same time, you make reference with the Turkey project. You say that one then have been temporal project where it be say for sustained Sierra Leoneans then for them go they get electricity while the power pool they complete. So now that I call them, you want to make that clear to we audience say that was the reason why them gets the Turkey project when have been temporal. You talk about cities in them where they repatriates. Anyway, I know I'm go on that. And then you talk about the commission of inquiry. You look and say it wasn't done the right way or fair way. You be a bit deviate from the actual topic, and then you make reference to the how you call the Mrs. Bo and alleged issue. I know I'm getting to it. You talk about the good road. You talk about good road where it be say obviously been done during the Dr. Ernest by Koroma'S regime. You make example of back then before we get to this good road where people then they travel, then they get to a point where they get for literally get down of the vehicle, then walk a couple of miles, then come back again and join the vehicle before then go proceed for carry on with the journey because of how bad the road were by then. You also talk say the All People's Congress na Combra party where they bring people then together. And you also make talk say there was a lot of good development, one of which again you make about the example of the road. You say, okay, the All People's Congress also they accept everybody in terms of tribe, you don't know Udana Mende or whatever the case may be, it been good and as that. And then you talk say now, when you compare that and now, you just see say there's no investor where they sit on our country. You make example of the German folks there where they don't run away, and then make a reference to the how you call them the Antofa girls saying a fraud. You make that reference there, and then you also say breaches them then self when they hear anything from them. You also blame tribalism on the sitting president in approach towards or against tribalism. You make reference of the TRC report where it be say with a deviate from going to the advice with the advice of the TRC report. And you also make reference of the folks then where they incarcerate now the Pademba Road saga, as well as the special court saga. And I hope say, and then you make reference with the Kailaun, where you say Kailaun are part of Sierra Leone, where some people them can laugh President Koroma'S say it make the Kailaun road, and you look and say now the right thing you do because Kailaun too are part of Sierra Leone, and enough for discriminate Kailaun from any other place from what I get from you. And you also make reference to bitter experience of you uncle Alhaji Musa Kabia, where them killed because he being I call and do an interview with Robin White, if I'm not mistaken, and hope say I don't paraphrase you to the very best of my ability. If there's anything I miss, sir, kindly let me know before I bring Mr. Jesmet Suma in.
On point.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Jesmet Suma, I want to bring you in. I know say you want to go. If you get anything for add before you go, sir. Okay. I believe say go come back. Or I hope say not don't go already. Having said that, now bring come Mr. Ajibuti Janjalo. Thank you so much for your patience. You don't read the submission of all the other two participants them on we on we panel today. So I want you to come back in and see also you go add or so on and so forth. And then I also get some challenging questions then for you as well. Thank you, sir. Okay, sorry, sir. I think say you device day on mute.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Obviously, make me submission. We, of course, not enough time for the comprehensive submission, but I'm glad again from the Jibril Bangula, we provide some supplementary information for me and support me in the area of the day. When I make a presentation, I come with facts and figures. I come with tangible evidence. Not of the propaganda section we just the talk because I want to support the party now. I give facts, I give evidence. I tell you say Sierra Leone. Okay, there are empirical evidences in 2007, and when you look at Sierra Leone in 2010, and when you look at Sierra Leone in 2012, you look at Sierra Leone by 2016, totally different Sierra Leone. Okay, whereas you go inside portfolio every day, and when you go inside portfolio every day, it means that the occasion the way you get to go to a mechanic shop, but when you fix them portfolio a day and people are able to drive freely, it means that you reduce the amount of time you get to carry car to a mechanic shop. If you reduce the amount of time you get to go to a mechanic shop, it means say small more money you left in your pocket for make you engage and to do other things there. So when people begin to talk about bread and butter issue, now they don't need a bread and butter issue. How, in fact, you they able for make people the small money they earn able to reach far. Okay, how you able to reduce the expenditure? How you able to enhance the physiological needs? I remember when we start the program, I think to say you want to say something about physiological needs. Okay, roof over your head, clothes now your back, food now your belly. And President Koroma, in objective that if we do just that and continue to do just that. Me particularly proud of the accomplishments that President Koroma made. I no will engage in any derogatory statements and never draw nobody down because I get so much to talk about in any aspect. Whether you talk about the macroeconomic indicators they were applying, I changed the figures there where they were. Mr. Gisman so myself and I wrote the statements, and abundantly make a mention of the GDP growth. And GDP says it all. When once you talk about GDP, you don't talk about the whole economy. The whole economy, really and truly. Mr. Jibril, plenty other things, but wait a minute. I think to say the other gentleman when you get, when they look at President Kaba, he handed over notes, and they read them. Waiting maybe they talk, what you don't look, waiting happen, not to meeting somebody saying that this I don't do that, this not good. I would say exactly we don't do. And I continue to praise Pakaba, Oppress and Mendes. Pakaba, a very good leader. Like I say, he spent a lot of time for end the war. After we don't end the war, we bring about institutions that were really and truly viable to the progress of the economy. We talk about the ACC, and he also mentioned NACI, I forgot to mention. I think he also mentioned NAXA, he mentioned NRA. There are a multiplicity of institutions that we did establish. And certainly, when President Koroma came into office, he enhanced now and then. They are saying he enhanced them, meaning that they continue to work and he even beef them up. And anytime I'll tell you something, I'll give you an example. One example, now like the ACC. Okaba established the ACC for identifying corrupt people and to make it serve as a deterrent. Okay? But when President Koroma came, they look at the ACC, they maintain them and enhance them. How is enhancer? They give them prosecutorial powers. Whereas the ACC, they subset now, able to prosecute. The way they go investigate, they come again to the Attorney General to go prosecute a week and lie till they get up. Now, they step able to prosecute. So things from there were able to be moved in an expedited manner. So that's I mean by enhancement of the institution and they. Of course, President Koroma, the establishment of other institutions like National Mining Authority, the NMA, where I talk about agriculture, within what we do within agriculture, President Koroma vision was to make farmer them into businessmen. So we come with the smallholders commercialization program where they train farmers then not only how for grow crop, not only the intensification and the extensification processes, but how for make them business people, how for store their product then they, how for maximize their yield. And that is where you see the establishment of agribusiness centers across the country. Okay, it doesn't matter where. It's not a question of APC stronghold, this stronghold. Right across the country, you see an establishment of agribusiness. Hello?
Yes, sir. Would they agree? Would they agree?
Okay. You see the establishment of agribusiness centers where when farmer don't take a raw product, they can go to the agribusiness center and convert it, add value addition. Like when we take you cassava, turn it to gari, you turn it to different things. Then you rest. And we'll make you rest for you, they even make out of and value addition. You see a bunch of things in the day where the agricultural time we establish. So these are some of the things. So like I say, as we go, I'm going to talk much more. Human development growth. Example can be the Beatrice Women Project. Where you take one of them, where Sabi Latin, they don't get education like me and you, but rather with small fund we will get from international partners, then we can teach them how to make solar lights. Okay, and by so doing, they make themselves useful in society and able to improve their livelihood. Okay, we see the establishment or the building of the foreign affairs office. We get a new foreign affairs office. All of this because of the relationship we work with international partners vis-a-vis the Chinese. The Chinese were able to get them for bill and foreign affairs building home. Okay, they'll be able to improve and expand the parliament. Okay, and they'll be able to build some code window for enhance the marine resources agenda. We look at the airport. The airport will be Sabi in 2007. By 2010, not the same airport anymore. You get airports where now one side man may pass, they turn up, they tell people a goodbye. Now you get people away they can't sign, people away they go, they know this they say. You get conveyor belt, that the airport. It's not only the airport they walk in, but it was enhanced. We see Usai before President Koroma. A 747 jumbo jet cannot land at Bunge International Airport. But with the expansion of the runway and the strengthening of the ground, you see we're able to get 747, we will land, we're able to take payload some goods them where they come out or either Ebola or Corona from Dubai and other places where the kind of military get a good place there. So quite a number of things were done that we cannot talk about in this short program. I think just like my brother also talk about something was single treasury account. I don't know which I'm not quite sure say they talk and fine, but I think to say for the benefit of the listeners them, I think to say I need to explain which is a single treasury account. Single treasury accounts the OPC account. Okay, that had been passed already. It was just had not been implemented. Under Minister Kefa Amara, the former finance minister, they bring a financial document of 2016 at Parliament, including in that was the single treasury account. And what is a single treasury account? Single treasury accounts, whereas we get plenty of ministries then, and parastatals then in governance. All of them are also get some of them get projecting where they bring money outside and they establish accounts for themselves. Okay? Now, time they come where the central government official not get money for do certain things and for pay salary or for do certain things. The government get for go lend money, take quick short-term loan who can take care of their problem. Okay? Whereas government entity they ministries, department of agency, we get money. When the government money anyway, we don't hold. So for reduce that kind of problem they not allow government to go lend money at an interest rate way astronomical. They say no, we could get a single treasury account. We can put it this way here. You don't have your papa, your mama, your picky, your brother and sister, they all in the house. Okay, all they get accounts. They keep money there. When you get money, you need money. Short, you need for the book. Okay, you grab it, they go to bank, they go lend money for 28%. Well, if all money happens to be inside one account, we register say that money na me get am. Now this people you get am, but put it in one account. That can become a household account. If you get press, you need money, you can take again and you put them back. You understand? So when I say single treasury account, I for make all the accounts they do, all the MDAs they get, all for inside the consolidated form. This way you're able to aggregate them. You're able to say, the financial power I get now so much. You can use that money to say as a government, because a government entity anyway. You know, now so much money government gets, now so much money government get the ability to get. So government choose for government money, you're able to government a higher amount of money because you're able to show say, I'm able to bring in this much money. So now in a single treasury account for make all the money inside the consolidated fund, they will go back to you as expenditure. Now just a way for recognize down the, you know, when people when they talk, they misinform people because they say no understand them. So I just want to give people an opportunity to understand what is the idea behind single treasury account. Another thing where people they mix up now this issue of austerity. I know people like to play politics. Me know they can politics for play politics. So I can't sit down and forgive you facts. I know they can propaganda business at this point. I don't know it. I know it. I forgive you facts. People they say you was in austerity. APC governments declare austerity. That was never the case. I don't care what anybody tell you. That was never the case. I was a government spokesman. So I was the Minister of Finance, I was the President. I know exactly what they say and what they agree for say. Okay. After Ebola, where we see a contraction of the GDP growth rate, we see as we begin grow positively, we begin growing negative. We get to the point where we growth rate became negative beyond zero. Okay, we see where, like I say, manufacturing contract by 30%, agriculture by 50%. People are left because no business, no day. What we need for say, the domestic income mobilization efforts will reduce tax again. Okay, so we therefore actually reprioritize the spending and we establish what we call expenditure rationalization. Okay, what they mean is you look at your expenditure now and rationalize them and spend just what you need to spend and do a lot of cuts. Okay, now a responsible government they do. When you find out say some problem there somewhere, you react appropriately. That is what we did as a government. Okay, But when people like in camp, they say austerity. Austerity, now like where the mortal man in organ is shut down. Okay, the mortal man not the capacity to breathe anymore. The heart not able to pump anymore. The lungs they collapse. The kidney they collapse. When anything like that happen, now they call austerity, meaning that you know the function again. When you go to country like Cyprus, this will be get austerity. You will find out say bank they only open 3 days a week. When you go to a bank, you go put 2,000 in a bank. When you go for go collect money, you never get 2,000. They tell you say no, that $50 one place for bed for day. When you go for go buy fuel, they will tell you say no, now only 1 gallon they keep a cost. They ration. Now that only one austerity under the APC government that never ever happened. We pay salary on time every month. Pay salary on time every month. Mr. Jibril talk about teachers during Ebola. Even though teacher them begin a hostel they go school, their salaries were paid on time every month. Okay, so everybody talk about Salon, during APC to get reserve. I wonder what you talk about. Okay, for saying you able to get reserve, how are you able for plenty of what you do? Okay, and even the word where they say reserve said they mix up. When we talk about the reserve with regards to an economy, a responsible government, they look at the amount of money we will spend for sustaining the economy in dollars. Waiting business people they need. For example, we staple food. Now, rice, and we go for import rice. The import rice to the tune of 160 million. Okay, yeah. So that means, so that means that as a responsible government, you get to make sure say you get up to 3 to 4 months of that kind of money there in Bank of Sierra Leone. So your business people there able for access money at all time. Now in them going to reserve. Okay, the amount of dollars where you keep to sustain your international business economy. Now go reserve. So then my brother also talked about IMF. I mean, down in our whole program. People we need to understand the international partners that work at the road. When you talk about IMF is a moral guarantor. Back after the World War, plenty countries that they will suffer, especially in Africa. So they began to establish World Bank. World Bank now, a bank where countries that they contribute into, America being the largest contributor, and then money where they can say they use them for support failed states there. Okay, state the one for fail for support them through sustainable programs. And Salon are one of their group, then I less than developed category. Okay, well after you get World Bank, well if you need to forget an entity, we will provide credit, we'll be able to establish whether you keep your credit record. Now so IMF in come. IMF now come for able to say, this country get good record, this country they pay debt. So the more guarantor to say get money if you ask for less money. But then IMF improve themselves to the extent where they also now begin to guide you. Okay, the relationship between a country and IMF is determined by a letter of intent. The finance minister, the governor of Bank they write up a letter of intent, okay, for what the president wants, they present it to IMF. Say this is what we want to do. IMF they look at it now and see how sustainable it is and what they plan for achieving, and they give advice. Okay, every quarter, every 4 months, they sit down and talk and look at them for make sure you get on track. So IMF will say, well, you know what I think to say, you know, they get money with the kind side, you know, therefore making money kind side. So like this fuel, when they subsidize, where people then fuel the real price now 8,000, people they pay 6,000, government they pay 4,000 per liter. No, and I therefore allow make it float. Okay, the import owner hold back, the duty owner hold back on rice, people therefore allow. Okay, then that advice then they go. As a country, a certain country, you don't get to take IMF advice all the time. So then they get to stand your ground and negotiate with them. And so, you know, we run into that kind of issue a day. But the amount of things we run into that kind of issue a day is by far less than the time we would agree. And for sure, evidence say we agree just before we come out of office. Okay, the review before the review will come out of office. IMF provide with $244 million. IMF never give nobody money. IMF not to give money. Therefore, be a guarantor for say yes, this person okay, the clear fine. Then give it 244 million. Certainly because we will meet certain benchmarks them when they be set and they want to support you and for give you the incentive for saying that we will continue to do well. So we're never out of favor with IMF. It doesn't work that way. If you in a country when get a program with IMF, then you're reckless. But IMF did it at all times. They're always there. I think to say we talk about this transportation and we improve more on that. The introduction of buses into the system where we can make transportation every day. But government bring buses there that will personally go from Longly all the way to PZ for 1,000 euros. Okay, we come with 100 buses. There was quite a little bit of controversy over the buses that did. Political protagonists them say, "Don't you 100 bus and what not and so on?" And they get for car line, we bus them up in a stadium, then coach them one by one, find out say yes, the 100 buses. You know, they question the fact that the buses, the cost of the buses were astronomical and all the right, but you will compare the buses the way the current government buy now versus the buses we buy, the prices them pretty much like the same. Okay, at the same side of we better anyway. We see the commission of inquiry come where before the commission of inquiry we get the GTT report. The GTT report and the reports that they established here there was serious corruption in the government and they say politicians they don't do that, they don't teach money, so on and so forth. And there's the same a section inside the GTT report for those bosses. That commission they start, they finish, nobody no can talk about what's one day. Okay, so clearly there is no corruption there, honestly speaking. You know, but what you mean on top about the fact that we brought that into the system to ease the suffering from people there. On President Koroma agenda for prosperity, the agenda for change, that for put the mechanism in place for attract things that we will bring investments, bring jobs, and create income, whether the energy, agriculture, human development, and transportation. Okay, after we move from down the next time at the agenda for prosperity, that by the surrounding pool now, let people enjoy it. You know, that was most of the things will happen. So again, finally, I reiterate the fact that what you mean is saying that things that were tangible and things that were empirical, you can see them, you can talk about them. Again, everybody that I say, you want to necessarily improve plus I improve. Especially given the fact that we get exposure to dinner, which man wants to for quite a long time. And so we said one C, we're going to improve as quick as that. But that is not the case. But that notwithstanding, we often neglect the fact that there has been some form of improvement. No matter what you do, I know they have we can't castigate anybody in government. All I'm saying, government and government of continuity. The certain Sierra Leone we did 2007, no today Sierra Leone we did 2012, no today Sierra Leone we did 2018. Quite a number of improvements have been made. Number of improvements in all kinds of areas, be it infrastructure, be it relationship with the national community, and so on and so forth. So this government in themselves can and for continue to improve. But for see white, you call them black, I'm not going to say correct at all at all. Then we think Sierra Leone and think good about the country. The idea of politics now for me come I do something good. When you say they out fair way for do what you pass me. Society for growth in general, we will get that kind of attitude there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, my time for again a challenging question. I will start with you and then come back, sir. The first one where I go and ask you, excellence presentation in terms of accomplishments. But you know, with anything in life, we always leave room for improvements. At least that's the way I live my life. So many Sierra go say, why the failure to repeal the seditious libel law? So I want to come back with you while you think of that, and I want to come and ask another challenging question to Mr. DJ Force as well. The SLPP DJ coming, sir. My question for you, sir. I want you go answer in terms of the road. You see, say maybe it's not much of a development, and Mr. Jesmet Suma unfortunately on left way. Is say this road now death trap. And basically, it believes a lot of accidents that happen. But many Sierra Leoneans, even here, we're in a developed country, here in the United States or United Kingdom or wherever in the world, but I can only speak of the United States, where they see a lot of those too in a daily basis. Accidents can happen. Do you believe that speeding also it can be a major factor of this accident, or in a still go insist say na the road where they improve na in the cause that? Now that's not the other question I ask you, and I come back while you think of that. Mr. Jibril Bangura, it is vital that we forgive ourselves as Sierra Leonean for now we able for move forward. You share some critical events that will happen, where some of them happen to be some of your family member them. Do you believe that we will get to a point where we'll go able for look we say for Sierra Leone and say what has been done cannot be undone, that we move forward and forgive for the betterment of Salone? So while you think of that, I come back to Mr. Ajibu Tijanjalo for the answer the first question. Given the obvious facts that in that administration day, many Sierra Leoneans go ask say why that administration failed, unfortunately, for get rid of this or I call them now succeed in repelling the seditious libel law, where still the hunt Sierra Leoneans them up to this day. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Specifically, you refer to the 1965 Public Order Act.
Correct.
Section 5.
Yes.
Like the seditious libel law.
Yes.
Now, when we define seditious libel is a situation where one person will talk something that somebody else will not to do, and in that vein they defend the person's character, they pull them, okay, and not to do. Okay, I guess before we went in, that maybe don't happen so much so that people then they get a pass will be decisive, we therefore carry with this law with this kind of tear and band. Whether they lawyer they affect. So for the most part, they affect journalists and millions, really, because with a law like this, it's easy for lock up a journalist, really and truly, and therefore, if something like this day, it will be difficult for an investor to invest journalists or journalism business because they will still get a lady and then they make me the investment going in if somebody make mistake. But the fact of the matter is, with all well-meaning person who want to take the law out, because really and truly, successive governments don't overuse the law. They don't pass mark and lock people them up where you're not supposed to lock up and that much and so on. But the problem where you get as a government is in economics, we get something away from economics we call Pareto efficiency and Pareto optimalities. How do I make a certain set of the economy better off without making others worse off? Now, government is rule now at all times. If I take taxes from these people, I ask you, and they provide public goods for them, I have to make them become better off. I have to do it in a way where I didn't make other people worse off. Okay, government also enroll for reduce barriers for trade, to make sure say there is equity. Okay, meaning that if there is some form of business where they happen, say if Nigeria and estates, everybody get right for cancelling I really create barrier where Khadija not able to enter the market, but actually able to enter the market. We call them market failures, okay, in economics. Well, bring them come back now to this Public Order Act. This Public Order Act, the problem, the dilemma was, if you go and go pull them, you also have to bring in a law where will actually taking place, something for taking place, because you get a double-edged sword. In as much as the 1965 Public Order Act will create a problem for journalists, but then you get journalists that go to practice yellow journalism, where they deliberately go out because they pay them and pay people a name. Well, if you pull the law where they hold them responsible, then what will happen now? Well, for the other people and where they will do that? You get journalists that don't practice for 40 years. They're not calling a police one day. They're not calling a CID one day because they construct them facts before they come out and say anything. Okay, but you get other journalists that now go just a joke because they pay them or because they get political annihilation, they go play the game, they talk bad about you. And when once somebody always talk, we don't talk bad with you. It don't put in him, it don't put in him though. You know, so this was the dilemma. Like a double-edged sword. So the dilemma, in as much as President Koroma get intention for pull that law, the dilemma was okay, fine. When we protect them journalists, what will happen to the other people? And the biggest problem we're going to salon, for be journalists, just grab the money, take pen and paper, all about bonus. You're a journalist. That's it, you're a journalist. You don't need to get no certification, you don't need to get no training. You just grab all about bonus, you're a journalist. So you see, other people they can't well meaning, they can't into the profession, can't go and put it. So that kind of trouble in government be the case. You know, that is why there was a dilemma for actually eradicate or uphold the 1965 Public Order Act.
So obviously it was something where in a basically debate on, but in a just not being conclude. That's what we're hearing, correct?
That's very correct. It's a matter of fact. At the time, I worked at the Ministry of Information and Communication.
Yes.
Nani set the appointment for the first meeting where we bring stakeholders there. Stakeholders there bring journalists there, SLAJ, the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, and media owners there. We bring them down at the table. We get several discussions on how we will be able to pull this law, but also find a way where we will reduce the possibility and potential of yellow journalism. So it was a question of, in fact, if we go as far as for make a submission to the Attorney General, we draft a bill. What will be left, in fact, now for bring that bill legal at Parliament.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for the clarity. Mr. DJ Foss, come back in, sir. So I want to know you give me your own take on that. In terms of the road, in a defense or in our own point of view, say, it was not really a development as that of Mr. Jesmet Suma. So when they talk about cosmetic or the accident, I give the example of, places here in the United States. Accidents then can happen. Do you think that speeding gets a lot to do with that as well?
One of the things that really affect the Sierra Leone populace, the driving industry, first and foremost, they not try for put safety as their number one priority. Because when you say you're going to be a driver, it is people's life you are driving with. So you put the people first. So first, before you put the people first, you got to involve safety. Well, here is a system which has been built in Sierra Leone in corruptions, wherein people who want to accept education in any field in Sierra Leone, this is what is affecting the driving industry. It is not the road that is causing the accident. It is the people who are driving these people in a car. Why? How did they get training? And how did they educate them? For CISE, the fastest weapon on earth is cars, trucks. So now, all right, we move from that. If we're able to improve the sector and need, then we can able to make sure so we minimize the accident. It is not the quota on the road. It is the individual driving that car. Is he qualified to be a driver? Is he past the due process to become a driver? That we Road Transport Authority in Freetown, what kind of system are they putting in place for you to be qualified to be a driver? If I don't say people that they come face to face, then they go hit themselves. Sometimes when they see their accident there, it's just like I want to fly to be in the same there and start telling the people the hard fact. Because the knowledge is not there. The driving industry knowledge is very small. Why? Because we people where they live, where they rule, they not try for bring industrial education, now the industry of transportation. We move forward on these roads. Gentlemen, the last speaker, Mr. Tijan Jallo, for me, sweet talk no dey for politics.
No, 1 second. 1 second. One second. No, 1 second, sir. Now me on time for course and examiner in a 1 second because I be don't give a submission. So me say one give a challenging question. So before you go there and they give you chance, definitely. I just want paraphrase again your statement. You make it clear, say the road not to the problem, now the drivers them, and you also suggest that we get good education in that area for now we will prevent some of the accidents there. So correct?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So let me continue about the real question we don't give me.
Okay.
I live Tijanjalo in area.
Okay.
Today in Sierra Leone, I want to bring it to the attention of all listeners, to all Sierra Leoneans. Sweet politics and sweet roads in information is not going to help anyone. It's delivery. Delivery is our project now in the system of the government. We don't bring up. Make I just draw the attention about roads. Why I would never praise the APC about these roads. They did not even know where the funding came from. They did not even know where we went and bring this funding with the SLPP in 1996, and we run the survey. Also, with some areas in the way they even fail, we are able to bring account to the attention of the audience and the listener, to the nation across the world, internal and external. There was social action. NASIT be able secure money for the construction of modern international markets in Kwendu. We also the people here, they fail with, they embezzle their money here. Then, talking about toll gates on this road, where Mr. GB Bangurabi, they talk about toll gate. Now we bring the construction of road, now we bring the survey of road construction in the Republic of Sierra Leone. Now we know how we when we survey and where this road for pass, we Sierra Leone go open. But these people, they just feel they can just start it and they embezzle everything by themselves. Now, we try in that particular road construction where they want for claim victory over it. I will never give them victory to it. Now, we also begin for secure a survey for able connect longer to local, and Freetown capital city, wherein we suggest say when we construct that bridge there, we go able to put toll system, and we be put toll system in that for say we will connect Freetown, Longe, and Poloko together. These people, if you ask them what did they do with their money, they're not going able to tell you. They're not going able, but they will kind of media try to make themselves professional, good, and they want us to pray a rotten system. Me, for me, I will never pray this system. The only way I will praise Ernest Koroma. He allowed people to read themselves. Bravo to him. Bravo to all his administrations. But whatever they try to say on paper, in the media, they did not put it practically to hit the country to grow up with whatever foundation with the SLPP put in place in 1996 when they came in power in 2007. They killed the system. But the only praise I have for him, he let individual pocket and read themselves. These are the people sitting in America there trying to be good, trying to praise the system that has killed our country back. And we are still looking for survivor. And we are still looking to the way forward. So for me, no. National issue, I cannot praise them. I will never praise them. I will only praise them for allowing people to enrich themselves. And these are the people I will say they are praising this government. And they were able to generate income and come to America, buy a house. Now they are living in their own home. In this part of the world where we are, to even own a house by yourself, you need to work for it very hard. But Sierra Leone today, APC have put a foundation as a political market field to go there, enrich yourself, come back to America, own a house, live your life, and make our brothers and sisters are suffering in our land today. We are not going to allow that anymore. We have changed the system. And anyone deny the system, anything happen to you, you blame yourself. That's all I'm going to tell the nation. Yeah? Polokoro, the pondit be there. Who side the crown go? They eat them.
All right.
They eat them,
Thank you so
madam.
Thank you so much.
You
Yeah.
know, even the Kwendu market, we were able to generate income for we in 1996 to 2000. We also handed over that money to them to build Kwendu market, to be able to connect Freetown to Kwendu. They eat everything, and they are sitting here making like they are very good. They were when they were in power. No, for me, they only comment what they recommended. They let private people enrich themselves, and these are the people crying for them to come back to power. Yeah, thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your submission. I want to bring now Mr. Jibril. Do you have anybody waiting on the on the floor with the mute you? Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know, Mr. Tijan Jalo, when they see you video, if you can also mute your device, sir, please. Thank you, Mr. Jibril. Come on in, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Miss Khadija,
Yes, sir.
may God help you.
Amen.
And may God bless Mama Sakti.
Amen.
Yeah. And I hope you can work. At the end of the day, you can go back home. If God give you the long life and go and the last part of Elijah, because Pikiro will come on and they're not going to return. Yeah, the question you ask, say for forgive and forget, it's not easy. You see, when somebody commits a crime, a first crime, then say this now your first crime, you get a punishment within they give you for that. Maybe they just put you on probation. It depends on the nature of that crime. The second crime, the unit of first offender. The third crime, now so the gravity they go up. Like I've been taught, the TRC, the brilliant come for let we all come together and for get about all waiting and waiting don't happen at the country. But the same people then come again, then they perpetrate the same crime. So for people forgive, it go difficult. And I hear my brother DJ Post to talk say they talk about 1996. APC not kind of power 1996. Now 2007, APC kind of power. I don't know if I can get that talk day. They say 1996 they give money for being international market na Kwendu. 1996 na this, 1996 na that. Now APC kind of power back 2007. APC come back na power. And I read they talk about people corruption, this guy, that. It's very unfortunate. Well, anybody from the SNPP talk about corruption. If I go again, we say for forgive. Here what they talk. It's in the SNPP teaching. That means anything where he talk now policy statement, they hear and forming party people and what they talk about. The guy say anybody will do something, what them will do to her. He talk right here. I don't go ask me for laugh or give, then the perpetrators then continue to do the same thing. But that is not a big deal to me. And my comrade, my senior comrade, when Ajibu Jalo, and then they talk about this austerity business where SNPP, and then they talk all it. Oh, and then Skuma put me for austerity. But if you go, you look up the definition, of an austerity, it will tell you say austerity na where a government they cut down spending. They cut down in spending for things them like a army comrade analyzer no more. Then they talk about this austerity. And guess what? When they come, they say the country dey on austerity. They hire some, they increase wetin the former government they do when they cut back. They increase that. They expand ministries then, expand the foreign missions then. Then they say they inherit a battered economy. How you go inherit a battered economy when you expand, you employees them, you expand, you spend it. The man they fly past all the presidents in the world. Then they say they inherit a battered economy. How true is this? Austerity now for cut back. If you been they eat 20,000 a day, you cut down to 10,000. Now in austerity. But if you they talk about this austerity every day, when all they talk about this austerity, then you come and begin take more. So that means now you don't damage another damage themselves. Yeah, we believe in austerity measures where government been cut back. President Koroma'S cut back. Limits the way where they travel, limits beaucoup things the way they do. Some things they said, you know, they go there. They send people and for let them go represent her. Because if they cut back, then the austerity measures they take. But then deep no say the country they undergo austerity measures. The way they come, everything they make an extra large. They say, oh, they why they don't work, now that money they now be spent. It's bad. It's really bad. So with that, that I may take for tonight.
Thank you, sir. You've done
And
well.
thank you for giving me the opportunity to come to the platform.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. This platform belongs to every Sierra Leonean. Having said that, we're not going to labor any further. I want to bring back Mr. Ajibu Tijanjalo, and then I will bring in Afone and I'll give in a last word. Then we will call it a good night. Mr. DJ Force, you're still there around, correct? Okay. So, Mr. Ajibu, come in, sir. I want you say one or two things and then your last word. So we'll call and quit for the night.
Yes. Elaborate just a little more, which the comrade don't say, with regards to the current government saying they can meet a battered economy. If you can meet a battered economy, I don't believe say we will increase the wage bill from 1 billion to over 237 billion. Okay, you know what kind of house you can meet beside mama and papa be the work. They say, mama we this to part time, papa no get job again. You can add HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax on the television when you get. That doesn't make sense. Okay, but that is what we're seeing. Okay, now we talk about jobs, we talk about positions. Whereas the world government, they get about 21 ministries. You go check almost ministry again now. You have well over 25 ministries. Okay, when you bring a ministry, the political head has to have a vehicle, has to have an office. That office must be furnished. You must also find an office allocation for that individual. So there's quite a lot of money that comes into all of that. You know, so those spending could be considered reckless, really and truly. When you come into an economy that you believe is constrained, then I don't see how you would expand. Okay, it's very difficult. If you're able to expand, that means you need money inside it. Okay. Now, going further, we talked about this single treasury account, and I'll tell you how it came about. When the finance minister they go lay a financial document at Parliament, it included in 2016 a provision for single treasury account, where now this current government they implement so very well. But we see just recently where the current finance minister go for who present in 2020 financial documents in Parliament. It includes a provision where they say the president and the vice president must not be accountable to anybody for their international interests. I don't think to say people don't quite understand the problem way down the brain. When you talk about corruption, that's not corruption of mega proportion. I mean, it has all the fixings and the tailings of corruption. In fact, I believe, say, you check some of the people, like, say, they're daft. How you go say the president and the vice president must not be accountable for their interests? When I listen to quite a number of programs, then where they try to explain and confuse people there. And even bring things that like, if the president is for bygone for defense and what not so no, stop. Wait, hold on. Interest now there's nothing for do with the president. When the president decides that I am going to visit New York or they go for a meeting at Geneva, everything is paid for. Not when the president reach there, they go begin arrange hotel for him. No. Whether we get a consul there or we get a mission there, but a note verbal to don't go, funds would have been transferred for all what the president need, okay, in collaboration with that government, the way you go visit and provide for them. Hotel, food, environment, and so on. Interest not just money, what president they own for incidentals, for Eniola. They don't do nothing for what he is going for no pay for. Okay, now, should in case something happen, for example, residents come to New York, while they're in New York, there is now a need where they're not make them as part of the plan, because an emergency come up, people for now fly, go to Washington to go for a meeting when not the plan for. That interest they can come, they can take money from down there. Okay, president meets a group of people there, can't find them, they can't talk to them, they say, "Power not get transport, we want to get transport as a group." That interest thing. Okay, when it come back, or when the president return, okay, that money there is accounted for. Nobody really question the president. Nobody question what he does. What he wants to do, and your business, nobody question. But it must be accounted that we give 30,000, you take 30,000, but not 30,000 there, you spend 5,000 for this, you spend 10,000 for this. Okay, there's a balance of 15,000 there, minus. Or but not 30,000, you spend 5,000 for this, you spend 10,000 for this, you spend 50,000 for this.
Yeah, sorry, sir. You did bring some critical points then, but it seemed like you sound an echo. Say that again, sir.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Okay, wonderful. Yes, today. Yes.
Now, we talk about interest. And interest, now, money where the president they carry at all times for incidentals. In case of Eniola, problem come from, say, like I said, the example, like, president come now, then something happened here for Washington. They're not the plan for them. So, now that incidental, you're not enough money to come. Okay? But when the president return back, okay, nobody will ask what you do with the money. What if you spend about fine, but it must be accounted for. If you take 30,000 for go, you spend 5,000 pounds this, you spend 10,000 pounds this, okay, only 15,000 on this. When you spend 5,000 pounds social thing, you spend 10,000 pounds social thing, you will spend another 15,000. Zero. No questions asked, that's fine. It just must be retired. Okay? But we see the current government, the Minister of Finance, come with a provision to say the president and the vice president must not be accountable. Okay? Now they always say an issue of irrational exuberance, one for show this, one for say this, which you president make like say the failure for making money. But for me, we can now they can't deceive, we say the president don't even know about that, and that was why when this phone at parliament and come back home, the president don't agree for sign up. we will be seeing the people. Because before that minister make that presentation, or before that document go to parliament, it don't come to the cabinet. Okay, and when it come to cabinet, all the ministers they will sit on the cabinet, all the ministers will sit on the cabinet, they will not get a copy of that draft document a week. So they go for Lugan, make any modification when they want for that discuss on the cabinet. So everybody is fully aware, and the president is chairman. Okay, so out of cabinet you get 3 documents with the committee. Get the yellow paper, get the green paper, get the pink paper. Okay, you already set the agenda, you already actually do the conclusion, then you already go for investigation. Well, if that document reached the parliament, it means that there was a cabinet conclusion which I accept them, which I the president said they accept them. When they pass through, when he accept them, they are paper, they said I'm going to parliament, they said they are going to parliament together. We went to parliament, we explained, unfortunately, we got few officers of the tower, we argue against them, say it's not right, and then there was a public outcry, okay? But anyway, because the SLP became the majority parliament, even though the wrong team, hey, they don't have to do on the bad side of the presidency, they don't have to do anything endemic to the president himself. They passed it anyway. Okay? It means they're not doing their job. When it came back to the president, on that table now, the president say, this public outcry, I can't stand up, so I'm not going to sign it. But it passed you. You should have stopped it before that. Then he suggested, well, make we put a cap on it. What do you mean, on the cap? Okay, empty after 500,000, now you will begin declare. So anything ready for travel, we take 500,000 go. Anything ready for travel, we take 499,000 go. It will come on, this is bad. That is bad. If that not corruption, I don't know what is corruption. You know, this is not corruption. I don't know what is corruption. Honestly speaking, I just had to bring that up.
Yes.
That's what it is. Really.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And also, I go on to answer one more question where Sierra Leoneans then go on now, and then I bring Mr. DJ Foss for this same one who they right now. Input in that in terms of yes, sir, Mr. Tijanjalo, what I want to ask you is that Sierra Leoneans go still frown at the decision of the then president where he decide for let go of elected vice president. What you go say to those Sierra Leoneans?
Personally, I think to say the move we're not supposed to not happy. And in retrospect now, looking at it, we clearly see for say by all evidence not to be a move we're happy. Okay, but all I will tell you, mistakes had to be made. What am I made paper and so and reactions could be minimal, reactions could be over more than what you expect. Those things don't happen. But at the end of the day, President Koroma'S, my daddy, President Koroma'S, my father, and somebody very compassionate, and somebody really taking time to do things. He made it well for Sierra Leone. He wants Sierra Leone to be the best place ever in the world. And if you quantify the good things about and the good attributes, as opposed to the one way we make mistake, man, but definitely the one way we do good things, that's the one in small team.
Thank you, sir.
That's just the end of it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. DJ Foss, SLPP DJ. I want to ask you, what's in your take about the Impress? Can you hear me, sir? I think you mute your device. Okay. Mr. DJ Foss?
This is DJ Foss.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, thank you. We can follow, can share idea.
Yes.
We are not milking anyone who don't make president at that court today. I don't know why. Even now, people just talk President Koroma'S, President Koroma'S, President Koroma'S.
Yeah.
President Koroma'S.
1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. Mr. DJ Foss.
Allow the new president for B Foundation.
Yes, wait, 1 second, sir. Sorry, sir. Go
Hello?
make you express that. What thing I want you also answer the question with the impress.
Yeah.
Where then give the president the okay say you alright for to spend money without give accounts. I want to know how you feel about that. If you okay with that.
One of the things that first way the APC administration for women not born as Australia, they don't ever spend money, they can't give account at the House of Parliament. This now the first thing where SLPP tried for do with President Bill come, he say, you know what? Or the finance minister is not even President Bill. It is the finance minister because they think and they know say nobody not get access for install money, we not go give account for that. So the finance minister decide for do okay, we want to give 30 million to President Bill for when they travel, let you go use this money where he can make the account of that money. But what did the president do? He's very smart and he's very clever because he feel sorry for it. He said, no, when I go back in the House of Parliament, when I go see whether this happen or it not happen. The president agree. Okay, that kind of condition.
So
he said the people.
Okay, so
the people go
come. 1 second, sir. Sierra Leoneans go say now the pressure we been there, now the social media
no,
make
it
the
is
president.
not pressure.
Okay.
No one is pressuring the president. So now they don't give big diamond under.
Okay, Mr. DJ Forcing device don't freeze. Okay. Wait, come back. I will make it come back in and land. Having said that, Mr. Jibril, I know say you want to say 1 or 2 things before we come back in, and then I get to one more question. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, there is no way where you not employ the employee. Now you not employee. Now we not employer. If we deal a contract for build a bridge, you get for giving a breakdown where you come back, how you spend this money. So if DJ Force the talk say the presidents are in deny, now lie. Comrade Ajugala don't talk I'm already. This na thing we go to now then they try to spin this thing for let it go. That are one of the reasons where they go by hook or crook and get majority in a parliament. So that they will channel all them bad make their pass them a parliament. And then when they a bad laws them. Now a death trap. Don't lose them there. How it matter though it gets a history to manipulate things them. And this not to the first time. When it come inside that 90 days, it loots that country, then it go, it make, let them say if he left, they're not for go after her. That are the thing what they do right now.
So what I want to do, I don't want to deviate to topic again. I want to bring Mr. Tijan Jallo. When you talk about transparency, right? Sorry, Mr. Bangura, sorry about that. I want to bring Mr. Tijan Jallo. When you talk about transparency and similarly to this Empress, did the previous administration they make any such decision in terms of the president for not give we account, or was there transparency for Sierra Leone and they know which side and they what thing and they do with their money? I want to make it clear so we might not really know the in total of that area. Oh, sorry, sir. You volume. When they hear you, sorry. Yes. Yes.
Never. The system.
Oh, you volume. Move around a little. It seemed like with the volume.
Hello.
Touch it. Okay, with the you boys just yeah. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Clearly.
Oh, not quite. Yeah, like if I say the echo. Yes. Okay. It don't look.
Hello.
Yeah, I think it's too far away from the microphone.
Okay. Hello.
No, it still they give some echo issue. Try again.
Okay. Hello.
Okay, well, go ahead. I should say we'll go. They're going before.
All right.
Yeah.
Never. You know, the system. There is a system in place. Administration, not a change. The political leader did change. The political functionaries them now they change, but the system always stay in place. When they spend government money, I mean, there's nothing where they change by that. Now, every ministry, they actually, through the permanent secretary, they develop a budget for all the ministry. You get it, current expenditure, apply,
Yeah, it's just that the way how they sound, they come not so 100%, but they
hello.
yes,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
yeah,
we get you now.
yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yes, yes,
Okay, fine. Thank you.
yes.
Now, the politicians, they changed. That is why our jobs are sabbatical. But what they change, now the administration and how the administration operates. The modus operandi, they change. Doesn't matter what government comes into place. Now, they already operate. Now, how do you spend government money? Every ministry, through the permanent secretary, they present a budget. Okay, in the budget, you get what they call recurrent expenditures, where you want the way, all the time anyway, fuel, the minister or the president, the statutory travel them where they go every year, water aid and anything. They get other activities that where they happen, where you go plan for two, where they bring inside the budget. That budget is presented to finance. Finance, they call you for them, you can defend the budget, make sure say the things that we did, they want them and they make sense, they give value to the country. Once they approve them, then they send you an approval letter to say they do allocate this amount of money to you. The next thing we need now fulfill what they call platform one. Platform one, public expenditure form one. That platform one, they list down almost the different 3 billion. How you intend to spend that 3 billion is better than the itemize and take out. When they came up platform one, they go to a commitment on it. The church give a good commitment inside the system for saying that, so you want to spend this money and they allocate all the money. Now, when you need to use the money, then the activity they come up. Then you feel what in the board, let's go to that with the voucher and put that with the evidence of which you go in each part. Mr. Ajibudalo decided to say they want to go Asia to go talk to the international media about the effects of Ebola and how the money. Fine. If money for that, what do they do? We don't plan out. They put that for one, they put the voucher for that, they put the airline ticket cost and everything attached. Same and go finance. Finance, the minister will approve the financial secretary. So the minister will authorize the financial secretary approve they go down to the director of budget, they make the allocation, then certainly they make the money available for the bank to say go connect. But this is not money where you don't plan. Now, if you want to use money where you don't plan for, where you don't budget it for, okay, mostly minister want to get travel, when that budget may not be getting money. When you go to cabinet, you go present that this in a cabinet. I want to go and change that to function. This function has to bring benefits to the country, but like the cost is for now, now they can spend money out of the considerators go they can achieve this goal. If cabinet made the whole, that's say the minister need for travel on the Tuesday, but cabinet will till next Wednesday. Then it writes to the president for seeking gracious approval for an executive clearance for making able to spend money out of public fund for will attend to this agenda and indicate what are the benefits to the country. Of course, the president will require for making a concurrence from the finance minister to make sure say they get money for extra budgets. So this is the process, okay, for pool money. And when you go, when you come back, okay, interest, you get for retire. You get for say this like the interest will give you. I use them or not use them. That money for any other. If you don't use them, you give back. If you use them, you show what you use them back. This is now standard operating procedures. Now, in the Ministry of Finance, we get audit service inside it. Okay, when they audit the wire, then documents there at all times. Make sure say that you voucher day, you attach what you will do. You attach receipt number. You passports get stamp going out and going in for all of that. Okay, they get audit within themselves. Okay, you get accountants, auditor general, where they can audit from outside. Okay, so plenty controls they get in place when you not be able to go around 18 a day. Okay, so yes, no, if you answer the question today whether we government no dey present or no dey retire inquest. The question is no, of course they present, they retire. You have to do that. Now, a procedure where that the civil servant they handle that, that's not part of administration. You know to control that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Having said that, I want to give in a last word because again we're not going able to get a balanced panel because most of we panelists that don't left.
No, I think I think they ask some brother, they don't even explain for that interest. That will be too and small.
Yeah, good. That is what Mr. DJ was. We get a lot of
the we don't talk for single together, you don't talk and find. Then I got some interest now.
Oh man, wonderful, wonderful. It was wonderful.
It isn't that no school.
They close all two of the top of corruption. What's even more blatant than that? You know?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Having said that, I don't know if anybody wants to say one last word before I give a closing remarks.
Yeah, I want to say something. Oh, comrade, in the senior, why the Nibo?
Let me just want to commend Khadija for what they do.
Thank you.
I believe this they hold them politicians them foot to the fire, just to create some exposure, give people an opportunity for research in things that we nobody ever hear. And it also man there is to be very careful that the likes of Khadija and the under they will expose you to something we don't like. So I'm going to say I really thank you for the efforts. What you do, make God continue to protect you, make it good from state to state. Thank you very much.
I mean, and thank you too for being bold and being one of the honest politicians where they feel shy away for answer the questions of Sierra Leoneans, not only in the time of where you the campaign, but rather very critical in time of after where you don't left office. You still take upon yourself and say, yes, I do need to answer to Sierra Leone. And God bless you, sir. I appreciate that so much. And thank you for accepting the invitation at the very last moment. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Mr. Jibril Kamin, sir. Oh, I think we get one call. Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. Kindly identify yourself, please.
This is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Hello, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Yes, I enjoyed this program today. I'm not going to forget anything for say because very educative because somebody did at the line today will actually clear most of people they misleading information, and I believe say the two people who left the program now run away as Mr. Gallo said they run away. And in fact the reason for staying at the program just make for the Mami Suma. Now one of the person, but the time now where I come now the program now the time he left. Because like them people, one of them people then they mislead. You know, the politics of Sierra Leone they play a very bad. Them people then they sound like that man. They sound like very educative, like very eloquent, but it they mislead people then from the time of campaign up to today. Now, if he been doing the program, now think this way, I really want to tell him. You know, for do politics like that, it possible not get hope at all. Now, in the play then kind of politics, then the ball Sierra Leone, you get average education, you get what you eligible for go now any office for work now any office. What you make it, you know, for deceive people them. For let tomorrow you come now ain't happen with the SLPP. The too much lies who they make against the APC. If like a would have been done, whatever they get the power, then stop or then lies, then they then think about going forward. Sierra Leone not for them at this level today. But then like say them kind of power, then still they lie to people. Like a them man and they all what they talk during the campaign up till now, then still fashion AP. Even thing don't go upside down. Like a DJ Force, what you make me if he didn't a program and not get anything for say because man, you know, straightforward, first of all. But if you see talented people that were able, lost, and you too they control the program. Nobody know they just come, it just be so the demand of fulfillment, he run away from the program. So that just from me from the cartoon today, but I enjoy the program very, very excellent because Sierra Leone are we own country where we say we belong. We always come here for some years. Everybody wants try for go back home because everything they now, but you miss the home. That place called home.
With all fairness, yes, sir. With all fairness, not coming when it comes to DJ Force, in terms of him with his him being a member of the Sierra Leone People's Party, one side where I respect him, now similar as that of Mr. Ajibu Tijanjalo. In one of the man them, and then they just play on WhatsApp or maybe other platform them. But anytime where you give an invitation, they try for honor the invitation, meaning that he's bold enough. If even if they come, they say the truth or not the truth, but bold enough for face Sierra Leonean. So again, that credit today. Come back in, sir.
Yeah, that is true. When somebody they do something wrong, they face to people. I wish he learn. Me, I wish he learn. For let he come, he facing. Yes, because there's some people in the SLPP. They don't get mind come na them program here because they know say the listeners themselves and they talk, then they piss them off people and they go after them. Seriously. Because they know they talk something where even watching the people and say, then they see now the picture. You know, when you the life to watching people and not they see clearly. But if you the life and some two people and they see clearly, like a watching DJ first one, you say in full frozen. That one day you if nobody not be for me. Watching prompt the finance for make a deal like that one day. If me the president not get knowledge of that, I sack you. Because you don't cause the promotion to the government. So now that I just want for say. And that man, anytime he did a program, I tell and let he stop lie now. But what you make I can know, one audio he make later, he make and clear say APC been arrest them, then put on a cell unlawfully. Then from that day I know say, oh, this man they talk on malice. Sometimes what this thing will happen to them, now he make it get for go na the NGC platform for let he get the chance for castigate Ernest by Koroma because now man no they talk nothing way good. All the Ebola now with the rally if them for shame. They rally and now then cause disgrace to Sierra Leone government today. Where if he say he could tell let them wipe that thing they off for let Sierra Leone and they rally against the presidents and the international community. Now this like they make for the Ebola money, this government will come then say that man, that anti-corruption, he pull a statement, say he begin investigate from the international community up to the country. Nobody hands how they did. Yeah, they don't left the stain and disgrace for the good presidents them who get for come. So people then can make line no more than can demonstrate against them. Now the United Nations. Then why asking for the money Suma.
So, but with all fairness, instead now other person we critical with all administration with all fairness, instead we don't talk against this current administration on certain things that they do wrong. And even today back again, he point out some of the good of the then administration as well. I think he talk about the GDP. Where he also commend them as well. Unfortunately, left Ali, where instead for being there for I call him respond to your statements them, but I be just want to speak on in behalf as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I agree with you. You say me they follow up the social media. The first man at the social media with them first for Dompa. Jibril Bangura Oshidoyanda. I be there in platform even during the election. I did for freedom. And then go at them for don't lost media.
Yeah,
So I did follow up the social media. Even that man, yes, man, for the man is Shuma, we go Africa. That stay go na them villages they were always they go. I follow up if I follow on the social media completely.
Okay.
So I agree back to what you say. Yeah, if we're able to defend him because you know the moderator do the good thing where he say, but the way where I see this man go after the APC. I know according to intelligence, I expect them, even if the APC do am bad, for go, even things they go wrong. Now, even some of them now they change the scenario, like Ibrahim NGC and the other man, like them Kutubu them, what they then don't build up for APC. Anybody will be for work na APC, if they get power, then for throwing them na jail forever. I pray to God let them think that they come out of their mind. So now these are just one for day. I want to tell the panelists them thank you, including DJ Base and in the end DJ Force and in the judgment for the Mami Suma. Let God make Sierra Leoneans with a thing good for the country. When somebody do bad, may I agree for let them talk the bad what the person do. But when he do good, because mortal man, anyhow you good, you must make mistake. So through the criticisms, if you wise enough, you go able to correct yourself. So now me only take this for this program, this net. I'm glad for you and the panelists them. Let God bless you all.
I mean, sir, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your endless support. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dear, if you will give me just a few seconds.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'll make something clear.
Yes.
Jibril, thank you for the opportunity. I think to say it makes sense. We won't ignore them as I have done on many occasions. But I think to say I need to address that one day. Mr. Koroma'S Suma make a statement say, Ajibo connive with people in.
Oh, yes, I wanted to ask you that. Yeah.
Yes, and in all elaborate on that, I think to say it's about time that I make it clear, make people know the facts. That is not true. Absolutely not true. Ajibo will never connive for make them hold somebody out of a will way or do nothing. That will never happen. What actually happened to Mr. Chismet Koroma'S Suma? This is somebody who I was school with at the Albert Academy. Okay, so what did I say Koroma'S Suma? Okay, all right. This was at a time when the students of Jala did a strike. The teacher them, they put their tools down because the Jala University not pay the one that don't retire, the retirement benefits, and the current students teacher them their salary. Okay, for a long period of time. Government don't get involved, government don't build the university out with 12 billion at a time to make them able to get the resources for taking care of them. Teacher them, they still make promises where they're not able. So the teacher gets to the point where the patients run out, then down in tools. Then down in tools for a protracted amount of time, for about 3 months. The student they say, this really for go to government will complete now. The manner in which way they do it, they simultaneously set up a team we do an abo, a team we can potentially, and a team will proceed to the president's residence. Okay, with placard, plenty. We full up like the president's residence. Okay, so when they got to the president's residence, the security thought that the president's life is in danger, and as such, they asked them for left, then pushed them for left commodity. All right, and then what happened? The president left the work. That information they mixed with me and the Minister of Information at the time, Mohamed Bangura. So now we decide, say in the afternoon, for go the 1 o'clock program on AYB, and go talk to the public to say this is not a way for operates, and then students have to cease to do what they do right now, and things will be fine. When we reach now AYB, of course, they get a program lined up, but this was important. We need to reach to the public as quick as possible. So we went there and we asked them, say, "Dear, stop the program on a demand. We need for guys as a government and talk to the public. We get something will look like a national security issue." Gismet Suma and a few other people, I believe, say a gentleman where they call Sanon, Joseph Sanon, okay, in Sierra Leone. Then be on a program. I read the yes, then be on a program. So now we go inside the Gismet, they argue, say, why them they can't stop a program? Now they tell them, say, go listen to government program, stop this program. Gismet was upset about that we can inside. Okay, so when he listened to waiting, we can talk. But now the time understand, say, oh, student they protest. Now they Sano say, let them go, let them go see the student the way they protest. Now, but it's key. Gismet say, yes, let me go. So they left on their own, they went down there. When they go down there, the students were being riotous, but the policeman never tried to calm them down. The arrangement was that two of the students then for go to State House, which they had done, for go meet somebody in a State House or talk to the president about their condition. So the rest of the students were now at bed and then at the particular area done by wait. When this man came down there, I can ask the student what's in the issue, the student and tell her. Now this man begin to provoke the situation and make the student they all become rowdy again. The policeman say, hey, what's kind of this? What you do? Stop this. This man say, no, at the right, let them protest, let them holler. So now the policeman they move, we don't know none of this. We don't know say this happen. They move for arrest this man. This man run away. The only way they run, they arrest, and instead of going to go down George Street. And also going to George Street, now police headquarters they go. You don't know say that I don't know what happened. And mistakes in you don't know say that George Street they go away from the few policemen there. You they go side the policeman and then now. So I see a region and it got and been on a gun. By then information knowledge the policeman and say this time the man will come, we get one political party, he come create unrest now. Now the whole they can go for investigation and see central police. Well, okay, just make you sabi me. I understand that. You people you handlers they suddenly from America they call me say move for make they release this man. Well, unfortunately, I don't get that power there. Okay, and I cannot bluff because I get that kind of power there. When policemen arrest you, they say they conduct investigation. They are conducting investigation. What you have to do? I don't get that power there. If members say I get some power, I don't get. So that was where this man was elected. Okay, they go and get a better arrest and they will come up.
Yeah.
And what this man now, after they go lock this man up, they not cooperate with the policeman then. They will not cooperate with them. They said they go lock up. They lock him up for a week, I think. When they finally release him, I go meet her again now, AYV. Now I talk to her, I said, this man I advise you, yeah, go get a lawyer, make una come play for some less charge, make them forget about this case. This man said, no way. He said, I'm Nelson Mandela. That will never happen over a dead body. I say, hey, I don't want you to say, not do that. I don't go home now for a protracted amount of time for your business and whatnot and so on. I advise him agree. He went, he spoke against the judiciary got offended, the judge now ordered a arrest now. Now they will come back for another 31 days.
Hey, boy.
Which I advised him against. Because the judge will take a personal a blast for all the judges them say they all are thief man them, they all are crook and whatnot and so on. So the judges they get together and say, who's kind of man this? They will look at what? Well, you cannot blame Ajibu for that. And when you say they are not their heroes, don't go challenge them people are. So if you go set up an agenda for yourself, I can't blame Ajibu Jalo. I never ever got involved in that. I would not do that. I would not hurt a fly. Nobody will ever believe you say me connived with some people there for go back then will lock you up. That was incorrect.
Yeah, I think from that experience, now a bitter experience for him, it's obvious. And again, sorry for that experience again, like I've told him in the past. And unfortunately, instead not there, so for expand on what he just say, and we just hope that we all go meet at a point where we all go able to forgive ourselves for whatever mistakes we don't make, so we serve as Sierra Leoneans and move forward for a better Mama Salon. Thank you so much for giving your own part of that, for clear the hair. And I don't know if Mr. Jibril wants to say anything before I give a closing remarks. And thank you again, Mr. Ajibo. Mr. Bangura, you want to say anything before we close?
Yes, Miss Khadija, I want to say something.
Yes, sir.
Is it this my brother, Mr. Suma? I know it's got some for one. If you say jump, what's your line jump first?
No, I'm Mr. Suma. You know they now for defending. Say no, I'm Bogam. Me na in lawyer.
He will come back.
No, I think he was tired because of the time.
We'll go come back. And now you know they back down.
Yeah.
This the intel we say no go on New York, go protest. He said no worry. He don't go sit your place.
Yeah.
He don't show.
Hey.
They go back to the future. He said they go demonstrate against the rebel there.
Let
Like
me
they can't never you.
And the man wey go there with when Joseph Sano no get arrested o. Sano dey na Sano, you know the system. You no get problem. You just you go put yourself on problem.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe you know, like I say, maybe sometimes the fee say you go put one or two word, we'll go give him a easy pass, you know, in terms of letting him free. Unfortunately, maybe that didn't happen. Maybe because of history as schoolmates and all that, you know. Yeah, I understand. At least you made it clear.
Miss Khadija,
Yes.
I go advise Mr. Suma.
Yeah.
This net today na January, sorry, July. Today na July almost 2nd. Well, we're still in at the 1st of July. Then guy there we the hang out with. Now very, very dangerous motor-minded. Miss Khadija, however somebody bad to me say it bad, or that person they die, I know the dance, I know they celebrate. Because die, now God. Also they die, you know they feel like because I die, they die. That Joseph Sano, that one day, we've been there at one forum. That one day, it caused some kind of cause. The former first lady, Mrs. Koroma'S.
Yeah.
It caused some. This na the man where Minkaluba died because Minkaluba no be allow him for let you run a yuki na the Ministry of Education. Where that man they died, Joseph Sano, they celebrate. As I tell you, it's very unfortunate. So the message to we people out there, Sierra Leone, now for we all. I no get them past Khadija. Khadija no get them past me. I no get them past Ajibu Jalo. Ajibu Jalo no get them past me. Sierra Leone, now for we all. We did you, we no did you. Now we won't come together one day. And we for allow, let peace prevail in the country. We for stop for intimidate people because they're not in a power. You pikin, again for end up only for pay you go na bathroom. You pikin, again for end up for change you diaper. God no food. Today, now you, tomorrow it will be another person. So if you're not able to help you company, left her. But not try for provoke them. Not try for make the situation so bitter in a way that with power they left you. You will clap with your foot. APC day. Today APC no day. But the way where they treat with people, the way where they treat with people, constituencies then they're not their representative. Honorables then they don't pull them come on and then work, then go put people where they not elect. The day where power will change. This now like you they lock a container with water inside them. You go put on a fire for let it boil. It will boil away the pressure. Too much inside that container, it will explode. And when it will explode, I no one see another Rwanda and Sierra Leone. And this not a recipe. Wait till they go on so.
We will pray that you never get to that. Yeah.
We get for left. Wait till I know one let them do to you, no do unto me. Because if you keep doing to me, one day I will do unto you. Let we protect that country there for the sake of we on Pikine. Let we think about Pikine. Let we think about himself. We We don't go through the world in that country. We don't go through all the hardship in that country. But we pick them where we born here. They're not just for going there for go sit on day. Now what can they go after? But when them go there, they feel pride. Like, oh, this is my daddy's home. Like the Ghanaians, the Nigerians. But this finger pointing, this hate, we therefore stop our fellow Sierra Leoneans then.
Thank you so
They
much.
are at the big una. Una we left. Where you sabi somebody, where they take advantage against the company because now then na power. Tell them power get for left you. If you not do am, God will punish you. Where the tell rich. I tell you now, thank you fellow Sierra Leoneans. And this na Jibril Bangura.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you again, the wonderful Mr. Ajibu Tijanjalo. I thank you, Mr. DJ Foss and Mr. Jesmed for the Mamisuma. And I thank you for waiting. I take time out of in a busy schedule for address national issue. And I hope say the then administration don't learn from their strength and the weakness where I believe say will be beneficial to them if them take governance again, then go know whose side and go wrong and whose side and need improvement. Having said that, in our all way we not respond to in our text today in the WhatsApp forums. I mean at the how you call them the chats going in a forgive way. Again, we still the work in improving that area where we will get somebody will go assist we for get to engage in comments then from we viewers telling her plenty thank you any side we hurt anybody with the truth where we share today and I forgive we that's no intention no remember waiting bind we together and the very first music we'll play now today when from Mr. Lansana Sharif commonly known as Steady Bongo where they basically they remind we of waiting bind we together indirectly and they remind the government officials them say power need to last forever. Now we know how it treats yourself. Until next time, this is Salon for All, Voice for All Network Television. I am your host, Khadija Tijan Nabi. May God bless we all. God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone and God bless the United States of America. Bye.